I'ma keep counting this cash up. I smile like grit. I don't give a fuck about losses. Take down the chip. I don't give a fuck about losses. I'm in the track with the bosses. Pull a scope in the air. Got a nigga feeling nauseous. I ain't really with the papa shit. Now I came with a chopper clip. Shoot like Stoyakovich. And spur a moment like Popovich. I come from Booty Ave. Where niggas hold it.
Like that, bro. I'm a Spurs fan.
He exercises 47.4 million player option for next season, but will give back 6.5 million to become unrestricted free agent.
Kyrie?
John Wall.
How do you come back? He's like John Wall for the Wizards.
That's not.
He's just
That nigga's
injury
washed,
prone.
bro. That nigga's washed, bro. That nigga's washed, bro. All that shit is done with. That nigga's washed,
Great
bro.
Wall is over.
That nigga's washed, bro. Like he's not washed, but it's like
So
like he peaked already.
yeah, it's over. He's definitely on like the end of the.
It's like equivalent of Kemba.
So I always feel a tension. And my shooter got a shooter with him. I just thought that I mentioned. In the field, I be calling blitz. Whipping soft, see it hard to get. Different currency in the bag. Duffel look like a party mix. With the 6 like I'm Eddie Jones. Rep the 40, but I'm Billy Holmes. Keep the 40 so I'm not alone. Back it out, change a nigga tone. Pulling hard like Paul George. That just mean I'm bad to the bone. In my hood, I'm the 2-3. Supply the whole block with the zones. You talking shit about Rick Rule. Well, you better have a pistol. We pulling up like cab drivers. I got some that'll lift you. I gotta stick to the tactics. Mix the trap with the rap shit. I was never into acting. Got rich off a pack flip. They told me to play on my cards right, and I'm gonna win. They told me stop living a hard life, commit any sins. I'ma keep counting this cash up. I smile like grit. I don't give a fuck about losses. Take that on the chin. They told me to play on my cards right, and I'm gonna win. They told me stop living a hard life, commit any sins. I'ma keep counting this cash up. I smile like grit. I don't give a fuck about losses. Take down the chin.
You want it more? I want it at least like if you gonna be like not. I ain't talking like Ron superstar, but like a Paul George. Like Paul George is a superstar, but you know he not like So you know that's decent. That's a step up. Like I could live with that if he was like a Paul George caliber.
That's fair.
Star level.
Fair. That's fair. I can't really argue that. I mean,
like he did his thing though. Hey,
that's still my dream interview.
Kemba?
I've always wanted to interview Kemba.
Kyrie too. Kyrie be pulling up here. Nigga. Like I think Kyrie's from the Bronx, ain't he?
From Mount Haven.
Yeah, he pulls up to Mitchell's all the time. Like he be doing like the food giveaways.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm from that side, so if I find next time you do it, I'll that ass pull up. Ask that nigga pull up. Hey.
Please.
Knowing him, he's humble. He might. Who knows?
You never know. I wouldn't even be
from
surprised.
The Bronx.
I think he would. I mean, if anybody got any ties to Kyrie,
probably get Kemba too. Because I know people.
Kemba's definitely like not far out of reach. But I do that's always been like a dream interview of mine. Like I've been literally watching him since high school. I remember when he was playing in like Watson Classic with Corey Fisher and Dykeman and all that stuff. Like when he was gonna come up. Yeah, and then he went to UConn. Like it's just a bunch of shit that I would want to ask him. But that's neither here nor there. Speaking it into existence.
Yeah, we could probably get that done.
Yeah. And then, you know, if you can get Kyrie and then hey, fuck you. Might as well go for LeBron after that, right? Never know.
You really want LeBron?
I would.
Ginger would have to be here.
No.
He would be a fan.
I don't think
girl.
I could be here.
Why not?
Because I don't think I could stop myself from asking him certain questions.
Like what?
I'm a wild nigga. I don't think I could stop myself from asking him certain questions. Like I don't know. I don't know.
What's one of the questions? Well, if you ask the question, will it like prevent the interview possibly? Like, is it that wild of a question?
It depends how LeBron's gonna take.
Can you can mute audio real quick? Mute the audio real quick.
Just text it in the chat.
Nah, cause you can see that.
No, on Instagram.
On the Instagram.
Oh, no, I don't think the question is. Nah. I don't think the question.
Yo, that's hilarious.
I mean, I would love a LeBron interview. I would love a Skylar Diggins interview.
Oh man, me too.
But it's like one of the questions is obvious. Like,
anything about his hairline?
Suber.
Why did he put that? Remember when he had the Beijing sweating from his face?
LeBron's been through a lot, man. He's been through a lot. Oh, I want to give a shout out to. Oh, let me.
Happy birthday, Rick. Happy birthday, Rick.
Oh, shout out to the mayor too on his birthday. My computer froze. Damn, can't even hit the drops.
Damn, that luckily.
It's this aux, yo. I don't know why this aux. Anytime I use this aux, it just does that to my computer.
That's so weird.
Those,
you put it in?
Yeah, I'll type that. Those was the questions. Like, but the first one's obvious why he wouldn't even answer that.
I want to give a shout out to 265 Media. Again, I want to give a shout out to 265 Media, led by Daniel Artest.
The second one is like.
Just want to give you a shout out, man. Appreciate you and the work that you're doing.
That's not even like. That's just a legitimate question.
Yeah,
not even like that wouldn't even be an attack. That's just like a legitimate question because he does that. He does that frequently. And so that would just be a legitimate question.
I mean, I think that's a valid question though. I don't think that's a wild.
I fuck with like him basketball. Like I'm not a LeBron fan.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate LeBron. Like I wasn't a Kobe fan, but I appreciated Kobe. Like you get it? I appreciate LeBron. But those are just my two questions. The first one he probably wouldn't answer because
he can't answer that.
Yeah. But the second one, that's something he could answer, but
I don't think he would though.
Yeah. I think he'll deflect.
Yeah. Like
that's what I would do.
Yeah, you would have to deflect on that one.
Because if you acknowledge that, then you're in the wrong.
Mm-hmm. Of doing everything.
Of everything that you've said since day one, if you acknowledge that may be in fact true, you lost.
So we good.
And I couldn't, because I just stand there the whole time in the interview and just. Don't say it. Don't say it. So nigga, why the fuck? And it's just like, oh, I done fuck this shit up. These niggas.
You gonna be like, oh shit, cut this.
Yeah, we gonna get the
edit that out, nigga. We live.
we gonna get the LeBron interview. I think we gonna get a Rich Paul interview too.
Rich Paul will be fire.
Rich Paul or Maverick, one of them. We gonna make that happen.
So shout out to Jonathan Soto, man.
Yeah, man. That was major. That was a major interview.
Yeah,
he was way more woke for a lefty.
Oh yeah,
that's the vibe that I got as well.
Talking about elites and the shadow, the people controlling the government, all that. I'm just like, you talking woke shit, but you're a Democrat. Like it is whatever.
Yeah, he was.
That's the only divide. No.
But that's the things that we need. Like we need to show that you can think that way and be a part of that party and make change from within the party. Like I think we've gotten to the point where it's like, if you think this way, you can only do this or this, depending on how you think.
Bro, speaking of like that, nigga, it was some wild shit like cause of AOC talking about if you're like a Democrat, like politician or whatever, a House Senator, whoever, Supreme Court, if you voted yes on the Roe v. Wade, you should really think about, if you're happy about Roe v. Wade, you should really think about your position in being a Democrat or some shit. Like pretty much saying, like, if you agree with Roe v. Wade, like, you're not a Democrat. You can't be a Democrat and shit like that. And I was just like, yo, really, bitch?
Oh, that's like when Biden said,
like, I was,
if you don't vote for me, you ain't
and mind
black.
you, like, I'm not necessarily happy, but I'm pro-life.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like, I can't say I'm anti-vax and bodily autonomy for that, and then sit there and be like, yeah, this should be banned. No, I can't say that because then I would be a hypocrite. People should be able to do whatever the fuck they want. God gave us free will for a reason. Like, first, the foremost reason is for us to choose in loving him. You can't choose to love someone if you don't have free will. So he gave us free will for a reason. I can't sit there and say. That's why I say it's a good thing, definitely, that it passed. Because for one, even the all-time great liberal justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she even criticized Roe v. Wade multiple times because it just shouldn't have been passed. Like it's not a constitutional right. The Bill of Rights, the amendments, nothing mentions abortion. It shouldn't have been passed in the first place. And because it passed, this whole buildup and now the explode because it's overturned, that would have never happened if it just never passed. She said she criticized it because it was passed too quickly because of the spotlight on it, and because
back then or now?
Back then.
Okay.
She criticized it because she was like, she didn't agree with how fast it was passed and the legal standing it had.
Mm-hmm.
So I do agree with it on the sense of less power for the federal government is always a good thing. Now, when it comes down to the states and shit like that, yeah, some states is going to say yes. Yeah, some states are going to say no, but there's already laws where that's the case for things anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We're making a big uprising for this one because some people might actually have to physically leave. But for example, when vaccine mandates was a thing a few months ago, niggas had to physically leave.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't a big uprising outside of the fucking anti-vax community,
mm-hmm.
and that didn't get national spotlight. So, and mind you, vaccine injury shit and shits are a thing because nigga in Canada, some niggas winning a lawsuit for vaccine injuries, and so if niggas is winning lawsuits in Canada for vaccine injuries, they're acknowledging vaccine injuries in Canada. We all pretty much getting the same vaccines. Niggas, the World Health Organization type shit. Nigga, they all work together. We getting the same vaccine. So if it happens there, it happens here. But kind of lost my train of thought.
AOC, you were saying
Roe v.
Yeah. So there's already states that where we have to follow laws that pertains to one state that doesn't, guns, weed, et cetera, et cetera. I do think it's good in the sense that, for one, is this post going around men shouldn't be making laws about women's bodies? Cool. Roe v. Wade was a law made by 7 men in 1973. At the very least, the overturning, 3 women sat on the court. I think it's a good thing because it gives people the right to live in states where that kind of aligns with their views and their morals. For example, let's say in NYC, insurance and shit, tax money gets taken out for these programs, abortions and things like that. People who follow certain religions live in these states and they're paying money for things that they don't necessarily agree with morally or religiously. I think that's a good thing that they have some place to go, that they don't have to do that if they choose to.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's not going to be illegal. It's just going to be a state's decision. Now, let's say if you mad in New York and you going to vote in New York because you're mad about this, that does nothing because it's legal here. The people in those states, or whatever, you get where I'm going with it. Like
going back to local politics really matter.
If you're mad about it, and if this is something that affects you, go vote about it. Go get the people in. Go get the laws changed. You feel me? Like if you live in a state where they're banning it, but let's say majority of the women in that state and people in general want that, go vote about it, and it'll change. It's just the people you have in place right now. At the end of the day, we elect the representatives, and then the representatives push what they think the people who elect them want, or even their own views in some cases. Like, you get it? It could be something the people that elected them don't even want, but they push that. But we elect the people, we put the people in office, and then they do what they think is right in their minds.
So what do you say? So there's that way of looking at the Roe v. Wade thing, but then there's another perspective that I'm hearing around the internet and the conversations that this is about population control. And there was a clip going around of the minister, Honorable Louis Farrakhan, and he was talking about how the white birth rate, the white death rate has exceeded the white birth rate. So basically, there are more white people dying than there are being born. So now, when you do something like this, it has an influence to affect those rates. What do you say to that?
I say he's not entirely wrong. I'm gonna take a different approach to it. He's not entirely wrong. I don't think, if we look at the numbers, I don't think the population growth for America in general is growing at a sustainable rate, at all. I think my boy, I was talking to my boy Alan, and he was he was in the military too, but he was stationed in Japan for most of his contract. He got a Japanese shorty and all that, so he knows a little bit a lot about Japan. And he was talking about in some time, like not a few years ago in terms of recent, but like at a certain point, like in recent history, Japan had to like pretty much sign a law saying like, yo, if you marry, like you got to get off work early and go fuck your wife type shit because their population wasn't growing. So, in a sense, yes. Now I would say, like, do most people know who Margaret Sanger is? No. Margaret Sanger is the founder of Planned Parenthood. She founded Planned Parenthood because she was racist and she wanted to stop the black.
There was a name. What was the name of Planned Parenthood before it was called Planned?
It was the Negro.
It was like something like Negro.
It was something. Yeah, it was something wild.
It was the Negro program.
It was something wild, and so the whole purpose of her starting Planned Parenthood was just to stop the black population from growing. Now, when I see like people like Louis Farrakhan kind of push the opposite, it's just like, yo, bro, but you gotta also look at the rate that we get these things done at, and our population size is not even as big as white people.
Yeah.
Like the whole purpose, like essentially Margaret Sanger succeeded in what she was trying to do. When you got motherfuckers out here like Lizzo donating $500,000 to Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger is doing cartwheels in her fucking coffin. Because her whole sole purpose was to kill black babies.
And then also there's that aspect of it. And then there's also like when you look at other races, they're like outside of white people. So like if you look at the Hispanic population, like they've already exceeded us, and they've been here significantly less. White people are still ahead of us. So to your point, I think the whole Margaret Sanger thing, like should or maybe might be proud of what she's seeing right now, because I think we've been stuck at 13% for like a really long time, and that has a lot to do with the resources that we get. That has a lot to do with the political power that we have. That has a lot, like population, especially in the United States where you get to vote, population matters a lot. But for some reason, I feel like people, when they have this debate, it's more so like they're not looking at it from that aspect. They kind of see it as like, if a woman wants to get an abortion, what's the big deal?
I can even go further, like statistics and stuff like that. Comes down to how many has been done since 1973 when Roe v. Wade was introduced. 63 million, 1% for rape, so that's 630,000. Less than 0.5% for incest, so that's.
I'm sorry, go ahead, finish your stats.
So that's like 300. These are not like all probably accurate.
Yeah, it's ballpark.
Like when you look up shit, it'll probably show you last year's, 2 years ago, a few years ago. Like it's hard to kind of get the accurate shit when the year hasn't ended. But like 315,000 for incest. I don't know off the top of my head. Let's say like birth defects, but at the same time, if I'm not mistaken, they don't really count like health issues or birth defects as abortions because those are obviously that's health shit. But I've also seen shit like in certain states they're also making it difficult for women since this shit got overturned to kind of get their shit with health. Like I read some shit that some shorty was waiting like 9 hours and she had a literal health issue and almost died because of the doctor was trying to get the paperwork right with the lawyer, so he didn't lose his license. I don't know how true that is. You know, at the end of the day, it's still social media. But if that is true, like that still factors in. But it's like I don't know how many, if they do count birth defects, but if not, it's 62 million left after when you factor in rape and incest. Like 62 million is looking crazy if you're not counting birth defects. If you are, let's just half it. I don't know how much, but let's just half it to be fair. 31 million is still crazy.
Is that amongst just the black community?
That's just in general since Roe v. Wade. That's all. That's not just black people. That's just everyone.
That's a lot.
That's track.
That's a lot.
And it's like I get it. The way the world's going, the world fucking sucks, bro. Niggas can't get houses, inflation, all that shit's really hard to have a kid. But at the same time, just me, and like it's hard to have these conversations because people get really like sensitive when it comes to it. And it's not like I'm trying to be judgmental when I say these things. It's just the way I look at things. It's really not hard to not have a child.
That's a fact.
So it's like some motherfuckers be having like 6 of these motherfuckers. Like that's crazy to me. Cause it's like at a certain point, it's like when do you take like personal accountability? Cause it's like people use abortion in a sense as if it's birth control. Like it's not.
Oof. Yeah, that's deep. Yeah, because I see that a lot. Whereas like people are acting like this is the first option. Like there aren't so many other ways in which you could try to prevent yourself from
first option
having
condom.
And I just want to throw this point out. It's just funny to me seeing the reaction and seeing how people are being attacked about it. When at the same time, like you have to think about it, like it's a big country. For the amount of people that's pro-choice, there's an equal number of people that's pro-life. This shit's been like around for 50 years, and motherfuckers wasn't like, you get it? Like the reaction wasn't the same. Maybe in the beginning, I don't know. I wasn't around in 1973. I don't know how niggas reacted then. But you know, from just reading history, niggas fought for the shit to get it changed. Like niggas didn't like motherfuckers is holding going to niggas' houses. When the draft leaked, there was assassination attempts on justices. Like it was just wild shit. Which is like, there's always gonna be the radicals, sure.
Yeah.
But that like kind of taints for any movement. The radicals always taint it, and it just kind of puts a hyper focus on it in a sense, just like for people to be like overly critical and shit. Like I don't know.
So what do y'all say to the people who be like, if you don't like it, then just move?
I've heard that too.
I mean, but that's essentially what it is. Like, if I don't like New York's gun laws, I gotta dip.
But then people say like, oh, but you know, people in poverty can't just get up and move, and they don't. It's not as simple as you make it sound. Like that's the part for me. It's like I feel as if yes, you should get up and move if you don't agree. That's the beauty of America, is that you can go somewhere else and find different laws that cater to what you like, and that's pretty much what you were saying earlier. At the same time, though, when is it realistic that you're able to just get up and move at that discretion? Like how many people actually have that power to just get up and be like, you know what? I don't like these laws that they just passed. I'm out.
I mean, not many, but at the same time, a lot of people do. Most people just don't up and leave because of fear.
Yeah.
And that's fuck laws or anything. Let's say that's gonna change your way of living. Just say if you just been living here in one place and you was like, yo, this state really not for me. I've been taking L after L. I want to move here, and then you don't move and you just stay where you're at. That's just fear because you just feel like you can't just uproot your life and go somewhere else. And that's not even factoring in laws. A bunch of motherfuckers, when them vaccine mandates hit, they was faced with that same obstacle. And a lot of people, we saw the news. We saw this nigga fucking Cuomo just sucking dick on the news trying to get motherfuckers to come back to New York, bro. Talking about, come back, I'll buy you dinner and shit like that. Like,
yeah.
A lot of motherfuckers was like, hold up, I'm out. So it's like,
it's possible.
Yeah.
It's not impossible, definitely.
Even in Cali, I remember in 2020, they thought Cali was going to go blue because of that mass migration from Cali to, they thought Texas was going to go blue because of that mass migration from California to Texas. People were tired of the homelessness issues. They were tired of the taxes. They were tired of the vaccine mandates and stuff. And they just all started going to Texas. And then it got to the point where it's like, yo, Texas could be blue. And if Texas goes blue, that's it for competition in terms of federal law. I mean, like the president and all that type of stuff. But I don't know. I feel like the whole Roe v. Wade thing is a question of philosophy and like your morals and stuff like that. Like, I don't think there's no wrong answer.
That shit is really bringing out the wild in niggas. I have this teacher. He's a history teacher. Like, he's not teaching. I really had to ask him. I had to ask him if he was still teaching after what the fuck he posted because he spazzed. No, I'm dead ass. He's my teacher, and I was like, "Are you still teaching?" Because if you're not, if you said yes, I'll read that shit. No, he spazzed, bro, and I'm just like.
I also think that comes with what you said earlier too. Like there's just like an uproar of like these people. There's just certain people who are really loud.
Nigga said not a prediction but a goal. And this is because of the Roe v. Wade. Not a prediction, but a goal. Every single elected Republican in this country is voted out of office by 2026. Every single one. Force them so far into the political wilderness and make it clear that only a politician that serves the people, not a fascist agenda, can hold office in this land. We will never get anywhere close to this outcome focused on the sad, anxious expectation of a Republican surge in the midterms. Fuck that. The GOP's policies and platform are miserable trash that hurt millions of Americans daily. Their moral standards are non-existent, and their role models are literally criminal traitors. Let's organize, educate, and recruit, and turn out 10 times what we did in 2020 and 2018. Let's overcome the gerrymandering and the dark money pacts and the pessimism and the liberal disunity / infighting, and push the GOP out of power everywhere. For Roe, for Uvalde and Buffalo, for justice, for pride, for Ukraine, for climate. Let's fucking go. First of all, that last line sums up the fucking Liberal Party right there. Y'all fucking dick ride every fucking virtuous topic known to man just to fucking act like the good people. And first of all, this nigga's white. He's a white liberal. He my teacher. I love history. Nigga smart as hell. I'll give him that. But he's clearly dumb too.
Man.
What the fuck? How brain dead and blind do you have to be to really think that the Republicans are the only fucking problem in this country?
You are in your own algorithm. You can't see life differently. And people like that,
and to really think it to a point that you want to make it a one-party system. First of all, how does a one-party system even make sense in your head? Do you realize, if it's a one-party system, dumb niggas got it forever? That's pretty much totalitarianism.
Yep. Shit.
But you're a history teacher. Hello? That's why I had to ask that nigga if he was still teaching.
It's crazy because now, what was his answer?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
And thank God.
Yeah, I was about to say
because I would have been one of them cancel culture liberals, finding out where the fuck you teaching at.
Yeah,
that ass.
That's real.
Cause what the fuck is that shit? But hey, he retired or whatever.
But people don't even see it's crazy because there are plenty of teachers like that push politics and stuff like that on kids, and I feel like that in and of itself isn't. It's wrong. It's wrong to do it. Don't influence kids towards a particular party. Educate them about the political process. But that right there was on some next level. You in your own bubble, and there's nobody else around. You just hearing your own opinion just bouncing off the wall all day, every day. And, that's deeper than that. that's deeper than that. I don't know. That's a bigger problem. That's when you are so secluded in your way of thinking that you probably haven't even entertained any other thoughts, opinions, educational journals, podcasts. You just are so in your bubble, that's all you know. And that's scary because where's the balance? Where's the balance? Even if I'm Republican, that doesn't, like Jonathan said, I listen to other people to get different perspectives to have a balanced opinion. But that, I've never heard nothing like that before in my life. I've seen it on social media by people wilding out and acting crazy, but to hear you read that was pretty disturbing.
Yeah, that's my teacher, bro. That's why I be telling my girl all the time, whenever we do have kids, I don't care what the fuck it takes. I really want them homeschooled just because of and that's my teacher from 2008, 9. Now, shit's crazy. These niggas, some of these teachers are crazy. And that's why I was just yo, bro, public school just feels like indoctrination, and college just feels even worse. The deeper you go in American education, the more indoctrinated you get, bro.
I've always said my college was a left-wing bubble. It's always been it was so bad that if you you were considered racist if you were a Republican. Just off the fact that you thought differently. And I believed in that when I was in college. You're a Republican. I'm not talking, jacking you. I'm not. Nah, you the ops. You the ops. You think black people don't deserve breakfast? You think like this is my thought process of Republicans back then, but that's because from school until then,
I get it.
That's what I was told. That's what my mom used to tell me. That's what I was taught in school. That's what I was taught in college. Is that if you are a Republican, you're the ops, and you're only for rich people. But if you teach the history, Frederick Douglass was a Republican. The first 13 black senators were Republican. The Republican Party was the party that ended slavery, while at the same time the Democratic Party was fighting for slavery. There's so many different ways in which you have to just be educated and make it sound a sound opinion, but public school doesn't do that. They just teach you that red and Republican is bad, blue and Democrat is good. Where has that gotten us?
It's like that shit is
that Ukraine shit is crazy that you said. Like now that I'm thinking about it, like that Ukraine shit for you to end it like that. Wait, what? The Ukraine shit that he said at the end.
Pride.
That shit was crazy,
bro. I kid you not, bro. Swear to God, I seen like a house or a car or something with like a Black Lives Matter, a Pride flag, and like a Ukraine flag, and I was just like, Jesus fucking Christ. Sorry, God. I'm so sorry, God. But Jesus.
How are all those three things even intertwined?
Those are the people in our society who just act like the holier than thous, but are just so fucking judgmental and miserable. Like that's the people in our society. Like you could be caring, sure. I feel like to some degree, every human being is caring to some degree. Not there's more people that are empaths than others, but you like to some degree, all human beings are caring. But Jesus Christ, the dick ride every fucking bro, come on. It ain't that much care in the world, my nigga.
Especially for the shit that doesn't benefit the people they say it benefits. Like you supporting or putting all these millions of dollars into the corporation of Black Lives Matter, and it's not necessarily helping black people like they say they are, or you putting all this money, like we just saw our country put billions of dollars into Ukraine.
And I think they sent in like another 451 million or some shit.
Again?
I feel like I saw some shit
like
2 days ago.
And like these people in Ukraine like showing us how this is helping their country. Like, is there evidence of that?
Ukraine is the money laundering country, bro.
It is. It is.
All that money they send in there, Joe Biden's bank account and his administration probably looking lovely. No, wait. Not Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, my fault. Hunter Biden. They you know, they got set. They do separate things. You know, Joe Biden take care of the expenses, and Hunter Biden gets the inflow. They got a system.
And even with that, why? Like you can easily make that cut and just give it to NYCHA to fix the conditions of the people that are living in NYCHA developments.
Bro, they really told us they had no more money for stimmies.
But you gave me $44 billion.
Fuck. I forgot to ask him about the NYCHA privatization.
We'll get him back. He said he'll come back.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Oh, yeah. But they gave him $44 billion. For what? Did we see anything different?
You know why?
That's
what I'm saying. The reason why it's happening is because we continue to make these uninformed votes that always come back to bite us and harm us. And we just don't acknowledge that shit. Like the same people who are on social media saying Trump is terrible for the country. He's a racist. He's bringing the country to hell. And he's part of the Klan. And he loves like all that energy that where you were doing all this research and learning about the Republican Party and the history of Trump. Where's that same energy for the person that you put in office? That's my whole thing. Right? You should be like, why hasn't anybody talked about impeachment? Like I haven't heard that word.
Trump got impeached twice.
This is what I'm saying.
They're not really impeached for all the dummies who really think that he got impeached. No, they just produced the hard articles. It got to the Senate and got struck down. But anyways, he had 2 sets of fucking like impeachment like paperwork brought against him, and Joe Biden's senile ass on the mic. You're like,
America.
There's no way, bro.
There's no way.
If people really don't believe there's a fucking shadow government, they're literally like just not fuck. They're like this nigga for Pride, for Ukraine. Did he throw Black Lives? I don't know. Uvalde. Columbine. Fuck it. Let's throw that in there too. Even though that was the 90s. Like,
where's
like,
Kamala?
Hmm?
Where's Kamala?
That I've heard.
That's all I wanted.
Nah, no cat, bro.
Where is
Supreme Court justice has really been bringing that fire.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, Kamala really been.
Where is
I ain't
she?
gonna cap, bro. She really might be black.
You got to explain more.
She really might be black.
How so?
Come on. Think about it. You see what the fuck Joe Biden doing? What black nigga really gonna attach themselves to that shit? You really think I'm gonna be on camera with that nigga? When I know
I don't know, man.
She any black person gonna find a job where they don't gotta do their job, but they could get paid.
That's fair.
She might be black.
That's fair. That's a fair point. I mean, I think at some point she's gonna have to come outside and speak to the people. And
2 years.
It has.
That's really crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I saw Joe Biden when he was vice president more than I seen this bitch. Shit, I saw Pence all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And Trump didn't even like that nigga. They really didn't like that each other.
Yeah.
And we always saw Pence.
That's wild. But I figured out the reason too why people don't like Trump. Because people don't know how to speak. See how that lady was like, "Oh, thank you for saving white lives." Now that brings another.
Supposedly, she was supposed to say right lives or right to live or some shit like that.
Yeah, whatever.
But she stumbled and supposedly she stumbled. That shit, nigga, even me.
I was
I saw that and was like,
ooh. Shouldn't have said that. And I was like, that's why. And then people look at that and then they go off and they're like, oh, he's this, that, and the third.
And Trump
he was behind her like
Trump,
this.
I know his head.
He was like, yo, this.
He was sitting here like this the whole time. That smile he always did. And I know when she said that, he was like,
damn.
Thank God.
More ammo.
They was leaving me alone.
Yep, more ammo
now.
They was leaving me alone. Bitch probably did that on purpose. She probably probably inside out and did that shit on purpose to make bro look bad.
Can we put it past them?
What did she say? She said white
Nah,
lives
they do have
matter?
ops, nigga.
Yeah.
Supposedly Pence was an op, nigga. Like, and he was a Republican and his VP. And supposedly that nigga was like doing op activities. Niggas do be op. Nigga, what the fuck, nigga? That shit is that's military strategic shit, nigga. Why you think the feds do that? Be having informants, nigga. Ops is real.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's gonna stop in politics?
Yeah, but wouldn't you? But I'm thinking at that position, you would pick somebody that you're pretty thorough with.
Yeah, but he's not a politician either. He don't know. He's stepping in like, all right, so which one of y'all niggas gonna get the job? He don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
He came from fucking Shark Tank and shit. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, you said what did she say? You said what did she say? Who? The lady? Is that what you asked?
Yeah. She said something about white lives.
She basically said, "Thank you for saving white lives because of the."
This is the abortion thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like that. Now you saved.
I could
white
probably just
lives.
YouTube white lives.
But see, and this is the part that also was troubling to me. Is
President Trump. It's such an honor to be able to welcome you to God's country. I'm on behalf of all the MAGA patriots in America, I want to thank you for the historic victory for white life in the Supreme Court.
Oh yeah, she fucked that up.
Yeah.
She fucked that up.
No, but even if she didn't fuck that up, essentially it's like, okay, I get it, right? Cool. By, making abortion harder or whatever, you're saving white children. The same could be said for me. all right, thank you, President Trump, for getting these justices on the court and saving these black babies so our population could grow. But that's crazy. and like, if it was a stumble, okay. But if you really meant that, like, you could have just thank you for saving life.
But she was reading,
feel me?
She was reading it off the paper.
How you stumble that bad then?
Nah, she fucked that up.
That was her intrusive thoughts. And she just blurted that shit out.
Her like, fuck.
Yeah, because
not again.
Because now what people do is that they will discount everything she said before and after that. She could have gave an amazing speech.
And that's highlighted right there.
And now that we're talking about this and not what is actually being accomplished. And that whole Supreme Court Trump thing is interesting to me too, because people are saying that his presidency is still being felt today because he appointed those Supreme Court justices. And it leads to an interesting debate about should Supreme Court justices have term limits?
I definitely think they should. Because first of all, clearly we can see like an old motherfucker can be controlled in a high-powered position. That's number one. I find it interesting that people are blaming Trump for this because he got these 3 judges appointed, but they don't blame. And mind you, she's a fucking liberal legend, RBG. They don't blame her. She was 80-something years old when she died, right?
Something like that, yeah.
She died like a year or 2 ago.
Yeah.
Why didn't she retire during Obama's 2 terms so he can appoint a justice that can last beyond you? And my mom, maybe, were you trying to fuck them? Like, you get it? Because you didn't agree with Roe v. Wade to some degree? Were you trying to fuck them? But then at the same time, it's like, how can you know a Republican was going to win in 2016?
It's true, too.
So, like, in some degree, God rest her soul, you got to blame her. Because you old. Like, you should know, like, your time's coming. You know this position's for life. We got a Democratic president, and it's not going to be a guarantee. We're going to have it for the next 4 or 8. Let's do this now.
But where did the idea of lifetime Supreme Court justices come from? Like, that's the part that's confusing to me, because if we started off saying we don't want a 2-party system, I just can't understand why we need to have these people on for life.
It's because I get it. I really do. Because it's just like, why do you need to be there forever? But at the same time, it's like, you also got to think of like the degree of law and the gravity of the decision making. Like, you don't want the nigga who, like, at any job, you don't want the nigga who just got there making those decisions. Like, you get it? Like, so it kind of makes sense in a sense, like, these people, like, these niggas know probably every law book like the back of their hand type shit. These niggas have been in it for years. And they're making tough decisions, clearly. Shit that could fucking divide the country, clearly.
But why not a 15-year term, a 20-year term?
I do get it. Like, I don't. That shit is stupid to me.
Like, so you're literally like,
because at the end of the day, you retire normal niggas at 65. Like, politicians or people that just, like, not even just specifically politicians, but people who are involved in politics and law over the age of 65 doesn't make sense to me. Because if I was to be at any job out here, once I hit 66, most jobs not trying to hire me or they're kicking me out.
And I don't think it's fair that people can make these decisions and not be alive to live with the results of them.
100%.
I don't think that's fair. Like, so if I'm on the Supreme Court,
but at the end of the day, like, so then do you not agree with the Constitution?
What do you mean?
They are not alive to see the results of what they wrote.
True,
like,
but that was the founding of the country, though.
Yeah,
so that's different.
Just because you're not going to be alive to see the result doesn't mean you didn't have the intellect or the intelligence enough to know where it was going to go. Like, you get it?
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure the founding fathers, and the motherfuckers was like 18, early 20s, who was fucking smart as hell for some reason to know that this is gonna be something. They probably even didn't know, but you know, they probably had an idea like, nah, yeah, this is something that's gonna last because it's a well-written document. I don't care what nobody says, regardless of who the fuck they were as a person. That is a well-written document.
Yeah,
and so.
Sure.
If you're gonna have that argument, you gotta like look at other things that kind of pertain to that same realm of the argument.
But even with that though, they didn't have lifetime, like they weren't in power for their entire lives.
No, but their document is definitely long standing, older than us and them.
Yeah, but the people who are in the Supreme Court have the decisions that are based off of that document, right? So they're more so in charge of what's happening with the present day.
Okay.
So it's like
setting precedents and shit like that.
That's what I'm saying. So like now, if you 75 and you make a decision that we're not going to really feel the ramifications of it for another 25 years, should you really be the one making that decision? I mean, at the end of the day, I think the smartest motherfucker should make the decision. That's true. That's what I would want.
Yeah, and the saying is, you know, with age comes wisdom and all that. That's not always the case
at all.
A bunch of fucking dumb old motherfuckers, 100%. So that's not always the case. But it's just like, is the young nigga gonna make the right decision? Like, for example, let's just internalize. Like, I know I'm smart, but is every 28-year-old like every other nigga my age as smart as me? And I'm not saying I'm the smartest motherfucker out there because I'm definitely still stupid in a lot of ways. But it's like, no.
Yeah.
Would that be better than having a 50-year-old make this decision? Because I can't even comprehend. It's hard to even comprehend another 28 years. You get what I mean?
Yeah,
these niggas is already 60, 70. Just fathoming the 28 I just spent is like, wow. So to kind of comprehend what my decision, like the outcome of my decision and a whole nother 28 is like, damn. Like you get what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Would a young nigga be the best person to make this decision too? It's a hard question.
True. I mean, I also think at the same time, this is a perfect example of why we need to understand how powerful the vote is and who you have in office matters, because when these instances do come up, when presidents do have the opportunity to appoint new Supreme Court justices, if you didn't vote, don't complain. Like, so for example, if you didn't vote in 2016 and now you mad that Trump got so-and-so on the bench, don't get mad because you didn't say shit.
I did not vote in 2016.
There you go. Neither did I.
I was deployed though.
Oh, well, I was here and I was like, I ain't fucking with none of these.
Nah, I mean, you can still vote in deployment, but like that shit is more complicated, and I didn't really care. Like, it's Trump and Hillary. Like, I didn't care about either of those niggas at that time.
But is it like a mail ballot system?
Yeah. So like we own the ship or whatever. You fill out your little ballot, and then you turn it into like the mail sailors, whatever.
Yeah.
And whenever we port or some shit, they'll get the shit shipped over. Because like obviously, if you're at sea, you can't send it.
Yeah.
But whenever we port in whatever country, like, then they'll be able to send it out and shit like that.
How y'all feel about the guns in New York? I know we had that briefly, like the whole like gun law.
Yeah, I'm happy about that.
I'm happy.
I didn't comprehend when it happened. I didn't really comprehend like what happened, if that makes sense. Like, somebody sent it to me, or I think it was my girl, maybe she mentioned it or showed me. I think either somebody sent it to me or she showed me, and I was just like, oh yeah, they did this, but I didn't really comprehend like what happened. I just also seen it and kind of briefly read it and was like, oh, okay, cool. But then afterwards, I was like, oh wait, no, this is dope. Because nigga, first of all, I've wanted to apply for a gun since I got out the military. And then when I read the whole fucking application and shit, you need like a specific set of listings and or reasons that they find good enough for you to own a gun in New York City. You need to be like a armed security guard. You need to have a business and a home. But even then, they don't really give it to you. And even if you have it at home, it has to stay at home.
Yep. Can't bring
All
that
right,
nowhere.
cool. Yeah, so you gave me my gun license, and I'm getting robbed in 42nd Street. Hold on, wait. Let me just go home and get my gun. Like, it's dumb. And then when I actually realized what it did, it kind of eliminates that whole prerequisite shit kind of like reasoning. Like, nigga, I need a gun because I need a gun. Mind your fucking business type shit. Like it pretty much does that. And it's just like, oh, okay, cool. This is dope. I like this.
The one thing that I'm still a little skeptical about it is that if you live in Nitro, you still can't own a firearm. And that's where a large portion of Black and brown people live in New York City. So I think, I mean, it's a big win. It's a big win, if you are pro 2A or whatever. At the same time, though, I feel like people are forgetting that if you live in the Nitro development, they can still put you out or kick you out if you're caught with a firearm. I don't know if that changes now because of that. I doubt it, because at the end of the day, you're going to find the most gun control laws where you find the most Black and brown people. So I don't see them changing it, but that's my like warning sign for like people who are in the Nitro developments and are like happy about this law. Doesn't really affect you as much as you think. Because as long as that Nitro law still stands, which I do think is wrong, but
I think what's gonna happen is that's just gonna be like a lot of court case issues. People like it's gonna, like, for example, like in terms of the mandates, how the mandates got taken down because of court case issues, it's gonna be one of those things. Like when it comes to that, especially if it's people who have legitimate gun licenses that are Nitro residents, they're probably gonna be some legal.
I don't even think they'll give you the license though. I don't think you can.
If you're a Nitro resident?
Yeah, I don't think you can get the license because they're gonna look at your address and say you can't own a gun.
That's wild.
That's my assumption. But I know it's a Nitro rule that you can't have firearms on their grounds.
That's wild.
Yeah. So then now think about it. If they know
but that rule is probably also, not probably, obviously also written when shit was illegal. So shit might have to be tweaked.
Depends on. I guess that would be up to the mayor or assemblyman. Maybe he could. Yeah, Assemblyman Soto, he could probably fix that deal. But I do think that needs to be discussed though, because that's unfair. Like I was having this discussion in the shop, and it was talking about like, oh, but why do you have to take so many tests to have a driver's license, but you don't need to take a test to have a gun, whatever. And my response to that was because driving is a privilege and gun ownership is a right. And privileges can be taken away, but not your rights. Your rights are not supposed to be taken away. And he was like, oh, shit, I never thought of it like that. And I was like, yeah, that's messed up what they do to Nitro residents, because they say because you live here, you can't own a firearm and live here. I don't think that's fair. Because that's your right. Regardless, that's your right. That's your right to own a firearm. But, at least they made it a little bit easier now. But do you think that helps crime or makes it worse?
I think it helps. Because I'm done like living in the fantasy land, like that gun control like really solves everything. Like, and to be honest, I'm done living in a like fantasy land that mental health evaluations really solve anything. Because at the end of the day, a nigga could pass a mental health evaluation and then lose his mind.
Yeah.
Like, and what does that do? He's already a gun owner. But I'm done just like living in the fantasy land like gun control really solves anything, because at the end of the day, gun control only stops people who want to do the right thing and own a gun legally from having a gun. Because at the end of the day, I would love to have a gun. Am I going to go get one illegally? No, because I don't want to go to jail. I want to own my gun legally. So that way, if something happens, I can use it legally, beat my court case, and be free. I'm not trying to spend a day in jail for having a gun. It's illegal, so I don't got one.
Mm-hmm.
That only stops the people who's trying to do the right thing from having it. Because at the end of the day, no criminal is going to... You think that nigga gives a fuck about a gun law? If he did, there wouldn't be guns on the street.
They're still doing it.
Yeah. Literally, gun laws is the dumbest thing ever. Like, I don't know what group of human beings started this shit, but like that shit is so fucking stupid.
It's crazy because people say, well, even Jonathan said it today, like the Second Amendment was founded to go against the government. But then I also had at the shop, he was having this gun debate, and someone said, well, when the fuck is the last time the militia ran into your house? When the last time the government just ran into your house or the government tried to take over the world? Like,
nigga, it don't matter when was the last time, nigga. They could do. Imagine. All right, boom. I wish I was in the shop because my rebuttal would have been, I bet, nigga. So imagine COVID without guns. What do you think America would have been like if we didn't have as many guns as people or more guns than people? What do you think America would have been like during COVID? Because you see what it was like when we had guns.
Yeah.
They could have did whatever the fuck they wanted. Look at Australia, and them niggas gave up their shit. Niggas was throwing regular people in fucking pretty much not concentration camps, quarantine camps over fucking internet posts because they ain't have no straps, nigga. Like, it don't matter when was the last time the militia or the government or whoever ran down my house, nigga. It don't matter. Because it's going to get used if you run in my house, and it's going to get used if they run in my house. Just don't run in a nigga's house.
That's fair.
And you won't have to see it used.
Also, I do feel like if everybody, like we always say, like, if somebody else got a gun and somebody else is, like, shooting in the school or something like that, like, or any place, like,
I watched the video. I watched some videos, like some nigga in a fucking supermarket. And some nigga pulled out a strap and tried to rob the cashier, and some nigga was just in line behind him trying to,
like, yo,
trying to pay for his groceries. Yeah, his shopping cart. He saw him pull out no, it wasn't a gun. It was a knife. He had the knife to the person, and the nigga was just in line behind him, and then pulled out the strap on the nigga with the knife.
Calm that shit down.
It's just done.
Like, bro, people don't get it. Like, because it's like media hype shit up. Like, if you actually look at statistics behind guns and shit like that, there's more crimes stopped by like good people with guns than there are crimes committed by bad people with guns. Like 100%. Like, there, like a good guy with a gun, there's more crimes stopped than crimes committed. Like 100%. Right? Obviously, crimes is gonna happen. There's a nigga that's gonna get away, but statistics shows guns have been more helpful than harmful.
Because I think the media, what they do is they'll take the whole gun violence narrative and they'll just plaster it over and over and over and over again, making you think that as soon as you step outside, somebody's trying to kill you. That's what they want you to believe. It's that whole fear mongering thing, and they play on that. You know, it's media. They know what they're doing. They're not dumb. But I was watching this interview with these two white guys, and they were talking about the school shooting. I think that was in Texas. That was like the last big one. Unfortunately, I think so. And
the one recently?
Yeah. And they offered a interesting perspective that I did not think about. And again, me listening to media, I'm hearing most people say, well, the cops didn't go into the building, or it was a whole like hour in between, or whatever. And the perspective that they were saying was, they said, if you really look into what was going on, they didn't know whether it was a school shooting or a hostage situation. And that right there was what made it difficult for them to go in. Because if it's a school shooting, we running in, we taking them out. But if it's a hostage situation, now you have to have a negotiator. You have to come up with a tactic on how you could rush this person from all different. It's two completely different setups. And that was what was taking them so long to go into the school. Now, they also said, if it's me and you and we there and we seeing some shit, fuck all that. These kids need to be saved.
Oh, 100%. That's my mind.
Yeah, he's like, yo, fuck all that. But
I know how to shoot. If you give me a gun, hey, bro, I'm doing what I got to do. I know the risk.
At the same time, though, but now if it's a hostage situation and you do that, you can now make it way worse.
100%. That might be the case. I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of shit about this. Like, I'm usually one to like give police the benefit of the doubt because, I just know how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And typically we don't have all the answers up front. There needs to be the body cam footage, all that shit released. You get it. Like, for example, George Floyd. Initially, that shit looked bad. Then you release body cam footage. You see this nigga struggling, all this other shit. And then now you get a different side of the story of why he ended up on the floor. The knee shouldn't have been to his neck or back, but you see why he ended up on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning, we just see him on the floor. So I usually give him benefit of doubt because of that. I've been seeing like shit come out, like timestamps, pictures of them in the school at a certain time with riot, like shields and all of that. So you should have been breaching, but you didn't. Like I've been seeing different things, so it's like kind of crazy. I don't know, man. That shit is crazy. I will say though, like it's very interesting how we just went a long period of time. Obviously, I know lockdowns happen, but we've been kind of like off, restrictions and lockdown for quite a bit. In a lot of other parts of the country, definitely. New York kind of lagged behind a little bit. It's very interesting to see the amount of mass shootings happening and like secession, like concurrent, like not concurrently, but like back to back. Like it's very interesting to see that.
But don't you think that's more media coverage than it is occurrences? Because some of the things that they're saying are mass shootings now, which is regular shootings 10 years ago. Like now, like I don't want to speak it into existence, but if you had a barbecue and somebody comes and they shoot up the barbecue, they go, now the news will report it's a mass shooting. But 10 years ago, somebody shot up a barbecue. It wouldn't be reported as a mass shooting. So do you think it's more of like
that kid that just got shot on Father's Day? Yeah,
they labeled that as a mass shooting?
I don't know, but probably could have.
Probably. But I think that is where it gets scary because, again, media manipulation, most effective devil in America. They can make you think that the world is one way, when in actuality, it's nowhere near that. And I think that's what they're doing now I think part of it is with mass shootings. They're using that to push this whole narrative, which is going to lead to gun control. That's the long-term play that I'm seeing coming from this.
And what sucks about it is like niggas don't see it. Some niggas see it, but it's not enough to matter. It's like it's a small minority of niggas who actually get what's happening, and the rest of the people don't. And then the small minority is gonna have to suffer for the stupidity of the rest of the people.
I don't even know if it's all the way there. I think there's just like some people that care, some people that see it, some people that just disagree with it, and then most people that just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but if you don't give a fuck, I find you stupid because it's your life. Like okay, cool. You're a teenager not giving a fuck about shit. That's 100% fine. The moment you're an adult, all right, this shit matters, my nigga. Especially when you're having kids. Like if you don't give a fuck, you're stupid to me.
But even
and I'm not saying stupid in like a degrading sense. It's just very like kind of a ignorance is bliss kind of thing. Like you just want to be willfully ignorant because it just makes life easier. But it's just like I don't know what kind of idea you have, but life is not supposed to be easy. Yeah, life's kind of hard for a reason. We kind of, like involvement does matter in these type of situations, and the ignorance as bliss shit doesn't help. Because,
but when you living in your own comfort, you don't know any better.
Nah, and I do understand that, but
so say for example, like with voting, right? There's a bunch of people that like don't give a fuck about voting, right? But we now know it carries a lot of weight. But for the people that just don't give a fuck about it, like I was once that person. So, and the reason why I didn't give a fuck about voting is because I feel like the system was rigged, right? But now with more information and more knowledge, you know that your vote matters and all that stuff. People die for it, whatever. But now,
I still think the system is rigged, but I still vote.
Yeah, and that's fine too. But for the people that don't give a fuck, that's probably because they've never seen the value of their vote. That's one. Or two, they grew up in a household where nobody gave a fuck about voting.
Nah, and I get that, but then at the same time, that whole household will complain about the fucking the current situation of living based off what they didn't vote for. Like you get it, like, and that's where I say stupid. Because the same people that would say I don't give a fuck about politics will be the same people that's complaining about gas prices or complaining about whatever or complaining about, like, you get it. Like if you're not gonna give a fuck, don't give a fuck, but also shut up.
Okay.
Because we don't really need your opinion if you don't give a fuck. But by giving your opinion and sharing your opinion, you're telling us you do give a fuck to some degree. You just don't give a fuck enough to grow up. That's how I look at
it. Okay. And I think it can kind of be that, but then I just feel like people like we could just be so comfortable with where we're at and what we know that I'm good. Like I got my little job, I got my little paper, I got my family. Yeah, we making ends meet. We struggle a little bit, but for the most part, I'm good. I'm not on the street. I'm not dirty. I'm not dumb. My family's safe. I'm good. Yeah, I want gas prices down. Then I'm not voting because I still got to go to work.
I should have done. Maybe I don't know. I really think my problem is like because I overanalyze and just think about things so much. I just kind of in my head come to a point that I expect like everybody else to do the same thing, and it's kind of hard, especially like obviously you live in one brain, so it's kind of hard to like realize that everybody else doesn't. That's my main issue, and I know that.
I mean, I deal with that as a teacher. I teach 80-something, 70-something kids every day, and you're literally trying to get them to see things the way that you see it. And then you realize once you get the results of the test back, oh, it didn't go down. It didn't go down the way I thought it went down, right? But I can't say that these kids are dumb. I just have to be better as a teacher. And I think that's what the role of the people who have the knowledge need to do is that, okay, if you see that this person doesn't give a fuck, try to educate them. They still don't give a fuck. Try a different method. If they still don't give a fuck them. Move on. Whoever's ready to get the information, give them the information.
Remember we was having this whole argument on what was it, the 100th, the Shroom special? We was having this whole argument, and that's what literally me and Kev was saying, and what was it? Zay and Warren was just arguing with us about it. It's just like, bro, that's like at a certain point, niggas reach that point. Like, fuck them. Like, fuck everybody, nigga.
You get to that point.
Like, I will worry about myself. Like, type shit.
Damn, I don't remember what y'all was arguing about.
We was pretty much arguing about, like, you know, conspiracy theories and all that. It's like, me and Kev was pretty much saying at a certain point, like, try to teach niggas gets tiring, and these niggas is like, no, but if you're going to teach, like,
I remember that.
It was that argument. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's what religion did. They walked around with their book. Yo, you want to learn about Jesus? Yo, I'm back. I found out you lived over here from your homeboy. Oh, well, do you want to learn about Jesus? Nah. I'm asking you one more time, bro. This is the word. Do you want to learn about Jesus? This could save your life, whatever. Nah, bro, I'm good. All right, you want to learn about Jesus?
Nah, that's how my mom be.
Like, that's how it is. You just move on to the next person. But you don't leave that person be. That's how I see it.
That's how my mom be. She be preaching niggas all the time. And at a certain point, when niggas just always be like, nah, she be like, all right. And then when she be like, all right, niggas be like, well, why you not preaching to me no more? Like, yo,
don't
fucking idiots, bro.
Yeah,
like,
that's how it is.
I be telling the kid that shit all the time. Like, yo, but I be trying to tell people niggas don't want to listen. I'm like, so?
Nah, I mean,
so what?
But I can understand the frustration where, like, you wholeheartedly believe that you're trying to give people information that's going to help them. Mm-hmm. Like, even with Jonathan being here, like, you taking a radical approach is not going to sit well with a lot of people who you're asking them, for their vote. Like, you talking about people who've been lifelong Democrats who don't have that radical mentality that shit needs to be dismantled and start from scratch. Like, they don't believe in that shit. So they want their gun control. They want their, whatever, terrible public schools, whatever the shit that the left does. And they're comfortable with that. And they're going to continue to believe that they're the saviors. But as a radical Democrat, you're going to have to understand that you're not going to be able to get through to everybody. But for those who are willing to listen, do what you do. Come here. We listen.
You're not as radical as AOC, so I mean that's cool. That's cool by me.
You didn't think he was too radical?
Hearing him talk, you would think he's like a Republican. No cap. Like, honestly. Like, certain things he says and shit is just like, all right, I can see where you're Democratic. But just the normal conversation. Niggas sound Republican, bro. Like not the just when we talk about conspiracy.
Yeah.
The normal conversation. He sounds Republican. Honestly.
Okay. He may switch his party. Who
because
knows?
nigga, nigga, Democrats don't even be into conspiracy theories, bro. Like they don't.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't. Like
I don't even talk to that. I mean, no, I'm lying. I do talk to Democrats.
They don't really believe in conspiracies. And if they do believe
I got to a point where I stopped talking to them, though.
And if they believe in a conspiracy, it's like some bullshit, like very scratching the surface of conspiracy. It's not even like nothing crazy. Like it's not like fucking we're being ran by like pedophiles who drink baby blood or some shit. Like it's not that crazy.
Yo, did you see that they coming out with a Ghislaine Maxwell doc?
She on suicide watch. Roe v. Wade's happening, and this bitch on suicide watch. So you know she about to get Epstein. It's been nice knowing you, Ghislaine. Well, not nice, but you know.
I wonder if they say anything.
But yeah, let's keep arguing about abortion.
Yep, that's the shit that matters.
Yo, and you know it's wild too. I was telling my girl yesterday because we're on opposite sides of the spectrum. I was telling my girl yesterday though. I was like, even if like morally and just me believing in God and stuff like that, even if that wasn't a factor, just because I'm a conspiracy theorist, I would definitely like just be pro the fact they overturned Roe v. Wade because I see companies like Disney and other places that's just heavily known in pedophilia, trafficking, all this other weird shit. I'm just like, yeah, y'all for this shit? Yeah, I'm on the right side. Yeah, like, because it's like it should be.
Yeah, because I think Live Nation matched Lizzo's 500 mil or 500K.
Yeah, so it's a mil.
Yeah, that's crazy. Gotta follow the money, man.
Maj, he posted that shit. Kev sent it to me, like all the shit that he was telling me about. What was the name? The lady's name? The one who started
Margaret Sanger?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kev sent that shit to me. It's funny, he sent it to me too, but I already posted it on y'all niggas don't got me on Facebook. But I already posted that shit on Facebook. Like, even before Kev sent it to me. Because when I was just seeing everybody bitching, I was just like, yo, does anybody know who Margaret Sanger is? Like, that was just my post. That was just my post. No engagement because nobody fucking know. That was just my post. And then Kev sent that shit, Madge post there.
He was talking about Lizzo and all them, like they got these people just paying them, they just giving them the money, and then for them to talk about shit that they have no fucking idea about.
Yeah, we gotta go to Philly, man. Gotta go see Maj. Go to the solution.
I seen his whole post, and I was just like, yes, nigga,
I read
yes,
the whole
nigga, yes, nigga. Like, this is what I'm talking about, bro.
Yeah, he's definitely on that shit.
This is the thing, right?
He even was beefing with some nigga I watch on YouTube. Some nigga called Officer Tatum, Brandon Tatum.
Oh, he hates him.
Yeah.
He hates him.
Okay, so I fuck with him. I definitely fuck with him. I agree with him in most cases. Some cases he pissed me off, like Uvalde. He's a former cop, so he's just like dick riding the police, saying the police didn't do nothing wrong. Which, as more and more evidence is coming out, is clearly showing otherwise. So it was just like, yo, nigga, stop bootlicking, bro.
Exactly.
But it's like, so I still listen to him, even though he pisses me off sometimes, which I do with a lot of niggas. Because it's like, nigga, I'm not gonna stop listening to you just because I have a different thing of opinion. But yeah, he was on that nigga Brandon Tatum's ass, and I was just like, "Hey, bro, you got it, nigga, because I'm on your side with this one. This nigga really dick riding the police right now. Like he really bouncing on that shit, back in the blue, all right, backing it up on the blue. Like he really dick riding that shit.
And I think he challenged them to a debate.
I would love to see that though.
He challenged. He said, "Yo, whatever, however they want to debate for."
Because I still do like Brandon Tatum, so I would definitely love to see Maj like debate with Brandon Tatum.
We need more debates.
That shit would be beautiful to watch.
Yeah, we need more.
First of all, because regardless if Maj don't like him or not, I still feel like Brandon Tatum has some intelligence to him. And he's still a black brother, so it would be dope to just watch Brandon Tatum and Maj go at it.
I think that's what we need.
Because Maj is like, toes the line.
He's libertarian.
Yeah. So Maj toes the line, and Brandon is conservative. So that'll be a dope debate to watch.
And I think we need more of those so that way people can learn like the differences. But like nobody really understands what all this shit means. Libertarian, conservative, Democrat, progressive, radical. Like nobody understands none of this fucking lingo. So it's like I think we need to have debates where that shit could really be broken down. So I was like, okay, I hear Maj from the libertarian perspective, and that's what that is. And then I hear Tatum from the conservative perspective. That is. Okay, this makes a little bit more sense now. So Now, when a politician goes, "Oh, I'm progressive," I could think, "Oh, I remember from the debate, he said so he believes in such and such and such and such." Oh, okay, that's more of a progressive mindset.
I don't think Tatum would do it though.
No, he's already declined. Well, I guess not declined, but he just never acknowledged the.
Yeah, he won't do
the
it.
debate.
I would love to see it, but Tatum won't do it.
But
that nigga, as conservative and as humble as he tries to appear, I feel like that nigga's still a little bit too bougie because he be, collabing with like Candace Owens and people of that caliber. So it's like he's a little bit too bougie to. Not saying like Maj don't got his shit going for him, but like.
But I think it's interesting that all those. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
No. It was a late thought, but like the people he danced with is a little bit like high caliber. So I think Tatum thinks he's a little too bougie to probably sit there and debate with Maj.
I can see that, and I also think that a lot of the 2020, the 2016 to 2020 Trumpers, we didn't really hear from them a lot after 2020. Like what is his name? Brandon Tatum? Whatever his name is. I feel like I haven't heard much from him since.
Nah, he's still be on it.
He's still on it?
OD.
Maybe that's just my timeline.
Pushing that trumpet shit. I literally watched like a lot of his videos. He still be on it. But he's one of the weak. I don't want to say weak, but weak conservatives. Like, yeah, what happened in 2020 happened. Let it go. Let's move forward. Like that type of shit. When it's just like, no, we clearly know, nigga, 2020 wasn't legitimate. Like that election wasn't legitimate. Anybody who was awake at like 10, 11, 12, no, Trump won that shit. Because anybody watching that phone saw this nigga Trump blowing this nigga Biden out the water, and then everybody went to bed and woke up and was like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, because the election lasted like a week, right?
Yo, son.
That shit was crazy.
That shit was giving me so much anxiety, even though I already knew the results.
Yeah.
Like, clearly, Biden won, but it's just like, maybe there's hope.
Yeah.
It's just like, bro, that shit was one of the craziest elections ever, honestly.
What a time to be alive.
Nigga, I remember just in school when there was elections, I'd go to bed and wake up and just have a new president.
Yeah.
That, nigga. So when I'm sitting there glued to my phone for like a week, like, yo, call it, bro. Like, what's up? Like,
yeah. Damn.
No, that shit was wild. It's going to be the same 2024.
They got away with it in 2020. Nigga.
Yeah,
if you cheated once and get away with it, why would you not cheat again?
Nah, I don't think they do that shit again. I don't think no. There's no way an election's on.
Bro, you ain't see when we was voting like Curtis Lewa versus fucking whatever this bitch nigga is. Who,
Matt Adams?
Yeah, that fuck nigga. When we was doing that election, they was trying to make mail-in ballots like a permanent thing. You don't need an excuse to do it. Like that was something also that we voted on. I don't know if you remember. Like
I remember that.
You remember when we was choosing the people, and then they had some articles at the bottom of different things that they wanted to add to like the New York State Constitution or whatever. That was one of the things. Y'all sound like a fucking
nerd. That's a good thing, though.
Yo, that's why I just be hearing myself talk like, yo, what the fuck, bro? Nah, but yeah, yo. But yeah, that was one of the things. So it's like, I wouldn't put it past them to do it again, especially because niggas proved Dominion voting machines. That shit had internet access, all of that shit, so niggas could switch votes and all that shit. We didn't get rid of Dominion voting machines. They're still a thing because nobody took Trump and his claims and all other lawyers, Rudy Giuliani, fucking Sidney Powell and shit. Nobody took that shit serious. So it's like, why not do it again?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy how he didn't win any of those cases. And it kind of makes it sound like it was a legitimate election. Like people use that in their arguments to say that it was a legitimate election, being that none of his cases were actually even taken. I think most of them got tossed.
It's wild that niggas like write off conservatives as crazy for questioning this election when like liberals like spent 2016 and the whole 4 years pretty much just questioning Trump's presidency, saying that Trump didn't. No, like they were saying Trump cheated. The whole Russia shit was Trump cheated. Come to find out, that was bullshit. No collusion with Russia, nothing. To be honest, and I love it. My mind's all over the place, but Netflix, I can't remember the show, but Netflix has some show. It was like a docuseries of real world events, like internet shit. and they have a Seth Rich episode. And Seth Rich, remember they were saying Russia was the one that leaked those Hillary Clinton emails and shit.
Mm-hmm.
No, Seth Rich was a nigga who got murdered in D.C. around that time, around the whole election season. He was working with the DNC. Supposedly, he was the one. And Snowden, not Snowden, what's this nigga, WikiLeaks? Julian Assange.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly, Julian Assange was, in a sense, not saying it, but like hinting towards the fact, like, yes, Seth Rich was the one that gave me this trove of emails. And he got murdered in DC. Supposedly it was by like 2 fucking like undocumented like muggers or some shit. Okay. But that nigga really probably more than likely got murdered because he's the one that gave Julian Assange WikiLeaks. Julian Assange owes WikiLeaks. He's the one that gave him the fucking emails and shit. So it's like, that shit is wild, bro. But yeah, like, I lost my first train of thought, but it's like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like, I don't know.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole Trump.
So, yeah. But my thing was Russia. So the whole Russia narrative, remember that it was pushed. Oh, Trump colluded with Russia. Trump colluded with Russia. The investigation showed Hillary Clinton was the one that signed off on all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Seth Rich was more than likely the one that gave Julian Assange the information. He leaked that shit, not Russia. And liberals spent the whole 2016 to 2020 questioning Trump's legitimacy. But it's like, we can't do the same when it was like, nigga, that shit was blatant, nigga. I went to bed, this nigga was smoking this nigga, bro.
Word.
Woke up like, hello? What?
He was down by millions. It's gonna be a crazy election.
Yeah, I thought I saw some votes on the bus. That's how messy that shit was.
So some votes on the bus?
That's what I thought. I thought I saw some votes on the bus. They just sloppy with it now. Like, these niggas don't even care. Just gonna have them shits on the bus, on the airport. It's gonna start seeing votes everywhere. But
that shit was niggas that it's wild. Niggas was live streaming and still cheated. Because remember, I think it was like the Georgia, Atlanta, or some place. Like they had the pipe leak. And all of the counters had to leave, and then they was bringing in bins of ballots after all of the niggas went home. And shit. Like, how do you live stream and cheat and get away with it, bro? That shit is fucking astonishing to me. They got it, bro. I wish to have their level of deception because they got it, bro. Like,
they're not even deceiving anybody.
No, it's actually blatant as fuck. Like, I swear I never paid attention to shit until pandemic. And now it should just be so obvious. Like, I see something, I'm like, yo, y'all can't be this sloppy. Like, y'all the richest niggas in the world, bro. Y'all this sloppy, bro. I could do better, bro. Like, there's no way. But, all right, maybe not deception, mind control. I don't know what the fuck it is. But
yeah,
they doing something.
It's something to that degree. And I think the more time we spend on social media and doing a bunch of nothing, the easier it is to be fooled. Like, the more you're on, the more you're just doing this, scrolling. You're being indoctrinated.
MK Ultra is real. Mind control shit is real. You know, Stranger Things is based over real life.
I've never watched that show.
You watch Stranger Things? Mm-hmm. Project Montauk. So with their Project Montauk, I think it was in like upstate New York. They were kidnapping children. They were kidnapping children and conducting experiments on them to try to figure out mind control. And then Project Stargate is the interdimensional portion of the conspiracy. Like, it was not even a conspiracy. These are real things. Like, they were trying to figure out like superpowers and, you know, like multi-dimensional shit, like with Project Stargate. But Project Montauk, Montauk, and Project Stargate, those are the two like projects that the like scientists were experimenting on that make Stranger Things. That's cool. Like, it's based off a true story. Like, all those children.
No, they was trying to write in the chat, but it wasn't working for some reason.
Like all those children and shit in Stranger Things that they got like fucking with powers and shit. Like that's legit. They were kidnapping children in upstate New York and doing MK Ultra mind control experiments on them.
Wait, whoa, what?
Project Montauk.
Say that again? I missed that whole thing.
I mean, you never
What?
watched Stranger Things, so
you're not
pretty
gonna-
much
yeah.
Stranger Things is like they got a bunch of children and these niggas got powers and shit. Like they're experimenting on the children and helping them hone their powers, like telekinesis and shit like that. Project Montauk, I'm pretty sure it was in upstate New York.
Well, Montauk is in.
Okay, whatever. But like it was some shit like
It's
Project.
probably over there too.
All right, yeah, so maybe. But it was like some shit like Project Montauk where they were kidnapping, like scientists were kidnapping children, like years ago and fucking doing like mind control experiments on them. And then Project Stargate was where they were trying to harness like telekinetic abilities and shit, and also like interdimensional.
How long ago was
world.
But think about it now.
I know so much
you know
information,
when,
bro. It's hard to remember.
When they start putting that shit on out, Netflix and series, shit like that means they already
Yo,
that
it's
shit.
and this is why I keep saying. This is why I keep saying
it
we
was
gotta
during the
learn how to
Cold
tech.
War, which also kind of makes sense because even then, after World War II, like Operation Paperclip, the U.S. government brought in a lot of Nazi scientists, and that's when they started the MK Ultra mind control experiments. Because at the end of the day, bro, 9 million Jews, 9 million bodies to experiment on. These Nazis were bugging back then. So the U.S. government after World War II brought in a lot of Nazi scientists into our government to try to do a lot of shit. That's why like CIA, FBI, all these 3-letter agencies is kind of like really corrupt because they was like doing some wild shit on undocumented immigrants, people who just aren't gonna, nobody's gonna miss them type shit. Like,
did you hear about the I think it's like an engineer or something from Area 51? So this lady wrote this book. I forgot her name, but she wrote this book and she was basically exposing how the government did something along the lines of, well, first, before I even get to that, she was saying that no president has ever acknowledged Area 51. Like they'll never call it Area 51.
I don't even think it's really called that. That's just called that.
Nah, I think that's, well, maybe, who knows? But no, but I think Obama was the first one to acknowledge Area 51 as being Area 51. But before that, no president had ever done it. So she was saying that what had leaked was how the government during the Cold War, I think it was, what was it? Something happened along the lines of the government was taking children and no, there was backstory. Russia infiltrated the US somehow with either a spacecraft or some shit like that. And I think they found something on the lines of what they believed to be alien life or whatever. So then the US was trying to mimic that or trying to do something, and they were taking kids and they were basically deforming their bodies to make them look like aliens to kind of like show that they can do whatever Russia was trying to do. And there's some wild shit like that. But they were like literally targeting like kids with disabilities, allegedly. And then taking those kids and fixating their bodies to make them look like aliens and shit like that. And that's what some people think that like whatever fake videos may be out there of Area 51 are those deformed children. And she was like, this is a legit source, worked with Area 51, and his son had disabilities. So that's why she felt like he was willing to come out and explain some of this stuff because he felt bad for what he was doing. Yeah, I'm gonna find that. I'm gonna find that clip and send it to you.
I believe it because
she was on Joe Rogan.
Even if you look at video games and shit, for example, like Call of Duty War at War, like Nazi zombies, like if you look at the storyline of Nazi zombies, because there's a storyline. Like, granted, Nazi zombies is some bullshit that you just go around and kill zombies until you die. But if you actually do the little Easter eggs throughout the rounds, there's a storyline to Nazi zombies, and the nigga was literally a Nazi scientist who created the zombies. These Nazi scientists, like the comments said, Nazi scientists was ahead of their time. Like we was talking about that they thought that Russia had like alien technology or whatever. Is a conspiracy theory that the whole Cold War and the whole race to space and shit, like niggas got to space off of alien technology. That's why niggas haven't been able to go back to space. That doesn't really make sense to me in the sense that, like, what did you do with the alien technology? Was it just like a one-use type of thing to humans anyway? Because you don't know how it worked. But it's like niggas was saying like rocket ships and submarines and shit back then, not necessarily now. Like we're more advanced now. But back then, like that shit was alien technology for the time. Which, who knows? It literally could have been made out of alien technology. Because, I mean, it really don't make sense to me how we went to space back then.
It don't make no sense. That's what I was saying. It don't make no sense to me that we could make it to the moon in 1970, whatever the fuck we did. But we can't do that shit now.
Yeah, especially when we got Elon Musk now.
We have shitload of technology.
Do we still want to, though?
I mean, they always going to want to.
Go to the moon?
They want to do stupid shit.
I don't think anybody wants to go to the moon anymore, though. I think they probably have enough. Yeah, I think they probably sent enough spacecrafts to the moon.
No other planet. I get it. Some are inhabitable, or some we just can't touch because of, like, you know, Mars, Pluto, whatever. Pluto. Do we count that? Do we not? Some years we do. Some years we don't.
I haven't even heard the name Pluto in almost a decade.
Sometimes they be counting. I think Pluto just got recognized again.
Yeah, it did. It definitely did.
Okay,
it's like you could be a planet again.
But
you good.
But it's like I know some like we can't touch, but others, why not? We went to the moon. Technology is way more advanced.
Yeah, but not as advanced to get us to other planets, though. Like,
but we can send a rover over.
See, I be thinking.
That's what I'm saying.
In my
like,
head,
that rover makes sense.
Niggas be telling us like, yeah, we sent the rover to Mars, and nigga, they just dropped that rover off in like somewhere in Arizona in the desert. Like, no cap, bro. Like,
imagine that.
If we can send a rover, why can't we send a human?
Because I don't think we have the technology to put the human body through that type of trip. Like, that takes a lot to go to space and to like go to another planet on your body. I don't think we're at that point yet.
Send LeBron.
I've always said
that nigga been NBA durable. He could be space durable probably. Yeah, that nigga's an anomaly in the NBA.
Send him.
He'll probably be an anomaly in space.
Like all those like super diesel people that go to the gym for no reason. Send them niggas. I've always said that, bro. All them
that big nigga that be dancing.
Yeah, Terry Crews.
Oh, the Groovy Gorilla?
Yeah, send him.
Oh, shit. I thought you were talking about Terry Crews.
Nah, the Grooving Gorilla is some big brolic nigga that just be busting.
He'll
take a bite of food and just bust out in the dance.
Nah, he could go.
Send him. Send him. All of them. Make them like a special ops team and send all of them. But I've been looking up. I'm like super interested in alien life. Like that's just one. Like just space in general is always something that's like intrigued my mind. And I've been doing more research on like habitable spaces outside of our solar system. And they've actually found like, I think 4 or 5 different planets that like are very similar to Earth.
So then what the fuck the Space Force doing? Like send them niggas, bro. Actually, fuck the big niggas. We got a whole Space Force.
Yeah,
but I think the Space Force is like a defense. Like if somebody like fucks with us, then
if another planet fucks with us.
Either another planet or another country. Like if like say for example, if Russia did decide to just wake up one morning and really try some wild shit. All right, we got some shit in space that could probably either deflect it or we could blow y'all up just as fast as y'all can get to us.
I ain't gonna cap. Trump was smart as hell with the Space Force. I mean, clearly it didn't do much for him, but he was smart as hell with the Space Force because that's how they found out that the Dominion voting machines was connected to the internet because it was sending votes to other countries like China, wherever else, like that obviously U.S. politics has a vested interest in.
Yeah,
the votes was like getting sent to these other countries and being changed, and the Space Force was the ones that caught it with their satellites. Like that shit is wild. Trump. It's like yo, this nigga like he played 4D chess, but he didn't play it well enough to know he was gonna lose. Like that's how I look at this nigga.
Yeah.
Like he was a step ahead of everything except the election.
Yeah.
Which is
he
like
he had it.
Which is like. Is that on purpose? Like controlled opposition? Like that makes me suspicious. Because it's like, how are you a step ahead of everything else, but not this?
It's almost as if he wanted everybody to see the bullshit.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if y'all dive deep into QAnon. Like Q.
Nah, that's just scary.
That's what sent me on my conspiracy theory journey. Which
that's what the shit that Alice be watching.
Yeah,
now I've come down to the point.
I remember him telling us that.
Yeah,
shit.
I've come down to the
X-22
point that
report.
shit was a psyop, and it was a psyop. I can't remember the country because again I read too much, but there was definitely a country, I want to say like Russia or Germany or some shit, that had a Q years ago. Pretty much same make and layout of what Q and QAnon was. They had the same thing years ago, and niggas was pointing to that being like, okay, it's a psychological operation. They're just using the same layout of this and doing it again just with American politics. But I did Q. Nobody knows who the fuck Q is. Supposedly Q was just someone like. Supposedly it was a team of people in close operation with President Trump, and it was very believable because, for example, Q would post on like anonymous messaging boards, like not Reddit per se, but like 4chan, 8chan, shit like that, of the things of those nature. And then people would bring, the drops to like Reddit and just, the regular internet, like the people, like not the basement dwelling weirdos, the shit that they be on. They would bring it to the people like us. And I think that nigga had like over 1,000 drops, like starting before Trump even got elected. Pretty much saying he was gonna get, and he had predictions too. Like no cap, like that's why like so many people believe in it, because like he had predictions and he would post like legitimate pictures on some shit. Like people knew he was close to the president because he would post Trump's pen, like or shit that you couldn't reverse image search.
Yeah,
like so it's 100% authentic photo that this is the first photo on the internet.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's like niggas will be like, hold up. What the fuck? How you get this picture? And a lot of the shit would be like follow the pen, and then you would see the same pen in different pictures and stuff like that. But he had one of the drops of like pretty much saying like one of his drops was like the world has to see for themselves. Like majority of the population won't wake up; they just have to see for themselves. And so going back to your point of like Trump saying like he pretty much lost to let people see. Like that could be I still think Q fake, but that could be 100%. Like that was a part of the reason. Like because niggas said most people won't wake up until they see for themselves. Like a lot of people will be presented with the information and they could break it down logically enough to say, okay, this makes sense. And then other niggas just have to literally go through it to understand.
Unfortunately.
That Q shit is crazy though. Like
I
still tell you it's fake, but I for real dive into that. Like there's websites where you can find like literally all of Q's drops from before Trump won in 2015 to I think Q stopped posting like when the election ended. But like all them shits is legit. And if you go back and do the research, like that nigga really predicted a lot of shit. Like so that's what really like that's why I get the like QAnon phenomena.
Yeah.
And people just really wholeheartedly in the shit. Like I felt like I'm smart enough to like, kind of understand like, all right, but the shit is still fishy.
Yeah.
Like because this is too well like planned and calculated for me. Like because at the end of the day, like you still in close works with the president giving the public this information. Like that shit is still wild to me. But that shit is like if you actually go and do the research and then like go back look at events that happened like that Q posted about on a certain date and shit, like shit do add up, and I understand why people really wholeheartedly believe that shit was real. Like I do get it.
Alex be going down though.
Yeah, I saw those rabbit holes.
That nigga, that shit took me on an adventure, bro. Fuck a rabbit hole. That shit took me on an adventure. Like. But it got me like knowledgeable on a lot of shit, which I was like, even though Q was a psyop, I say, even though that shit was I feel like it was a psychological operation in terms of they think Q and the Q team is real. So they think there's good guys in place fighting on their behalf. So that keeps the people themselves complacent to not do it themselves. Because they think this magical team is fighting for our salvation.
And it's bullshit?
Yeah, I mean, clearly, Joe Biden president, so Q wasn't real. Trump didn't win that second term.
And that was the prediction?
Huh?
That was the prediction?
No, that wasn't a prediction. But like that's what people thought would happen, you know?
Oh, they like will come save the day.
When some shit, when one thing would happen, Q would post, okay, yeah, this is what the media is talking about, but watch this. And then this person will get it, like, let's say arrested for something, or people or business CEOs will resign. Nigga, Q, if it wasn't for my fault, if it wasn't for QAnon, there would be no Pizzagate, like in terms of child trafficking conspiracy. That shit with the whole the pizza parlor in DC when niggas thought like shit was going down, which it was, because that the owner whatever that nigga's name, I know his Instagram was like Jimmy Comment some shit, but he was posting some wild shit on Instagram before he privated his page. His shit was public, and he was posting some wild shit, and shit was adding up. There wouldn't have been no public knowledge of that if it wasn't for Q, or none of the. Do y'all niggas remember when the whole Wayfair shit happened? Like, there would have been no people looking into things like that if it wasn't for Q sending niggas down, like researching rabbit holes, pretty much type shit, like seeing like how niggas talking code words, different things, how to fucking go through certain websites and navigate and find fucking just pedophile pages on public websites that you wouldn't find unless you do a specific thing. Like, and none of that shit would exist if it wasn't for Q. So I feel like it was a psyop, but it was a good one because it kind of wisened niggas up.
But a lot of people feel like a lot of the stuff that they were talking about was just not true. Like, there are a lot of people who don't believe that whole Pizzagate stuff or the Wayfair stuff, and they'll say that QAnon is just misleading the people.
Oh no, yeah, 100%. But I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about like Q predicted real world events. Like,
okay,
I think like during Trump's presidency, that whole Saudi Arabia shit that was going on, where he was like really going in with them. Q was talking about that like a year plus. Like, they have some shit called deltas, which is like deltas happen. It could happen a second. Like, so how they really determine Q was real was like Q would say something, Q would make a drop, and then a minute later, let's say Trump would tweet. And Trump would tweet along the lines pertaining to what the Q drop was. Or Q would drop and say, it have spelling mistakes. Trump would tweet and have spelling mistakes. So you see how the media will be blowing up Trump when he would have like Kofifi and shit like that, when Trump would have spelling mistakes. That was more so pertaining to Q drops. So that's what really got niggas believing, like, okay, this can't be two coincidences at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, if Trump is tweeting this and Q's tweeting this, Q has to be real. Me, not so much. But, you know, I get why people thought that.
Make that
so it's like, so they have some shit called deltas. Saudi Arabia shit, Q was talking about like a year or 2 years ago, and then it would happen the delta is the same day. Like, the same day to the post, just a year later, the shit would happen. And it would be some shit Q talked about a year before, a year later, the shit happens to the public. And so it's like, how the fuck would you know that a year ago? You're not Nostradamus, nigga.
Yeah.
But like, that's how people was looking at the shit. Shit like Pizzagate, Wayfair, that's just more so like shit scratching public surface. In terms of the real Q drop, like, if you like it, regardless if it's scary or not, like, obviously, I'm telling you right now, this shit's fake. Obviously, it's fake. Trump's not president. But if you just go read it for just cause, just for entertainment purposes, and then you actually do the research and look at, okay, Q posted that this was gonna happen this day. Let me go back in history and see what happened. Like, and just Google the same topic that he was talking about, and then you can see the shit happen months after he talked about it. And it's just like, okay, I get it. But like, it was a good researching thing. I learned a lot from just reading the post. 100%. I treated it like a fucking conspiracy non-fiction story. I mean, obviously some of the shit was fiction, but like, you know, that's how I treated it.
What beat? No. Oh, it could be my laptop.
Sure, you said check your
phone. Oh.
But yeah, the shit was crazy, bro. I was driving my girl crazy when I was driving, going down that Q rabbit hole, because she was just like, yo, please stop talking about this shit.
I knew I heard something. He was pressing the buttons? I heard the door upstairs too. Oh.
I ain't hear shit, and I don't even got headphones on.
Huh? What's up? Oh, we gotta fix the camera. Yeah. Oh, all right. They're gonna see you walk by. You gotta run. You gotta walk by. That's not Kevin.
Not Kevin. Not Kevin.
Oh, I didn't know you was pulling up, nigga. I got something for you, bro.
What you got?
Want to be a surprise?
You already spoke on it.
It's chocolate. I went to North Carolina, and there's this candy store I go to in North Carolina. That shit is the best candy store I've ever been to.
I'm lactose intolerant.
All right, well, the rapper is Let's Go Brandon, nigga. So you can just appreciate that, my nigga. All right, so you know what? I'm going to take out the chocolate and just give you the rapper.
Eat the chocolate.
I am lactose intolerant.
Oh,
I fuck with you.
Yeah, the rapper says Let's Go Brandon on it. It's just a chocolate.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I saw that shit. I was like, oh, I need a capo on that. I'm gonna get one for Kev too. I'm gonna get one for Kev.
Yesterday,
I had one of those candies that said "Make America Great Again." It was from Florida. Shit actually tastes pretty good. Tastes better than the Hershey's.
Why?
I don't know. It just tastes better, man.
It's like freedom.
It tastes like
It tastes like freedom.
It tastes like freedom. Kev, what did you think about Jonathan Soto?
Honestly, I was at work, so I really couldn't listen to the whole interview. But I heard
Probably do got you now.
A small percentage of it. I mean, like, listen, I wish him well in his journey. It's just, I just hope he keeps on what he's talking about, and instead of just, going where the money is, So I wish him well in his journey.
Yeah, I mean, he was saying that he doesn't take money from real estate developers or
But that's the thing, though.
big corporations.
A lot of politicians, when they're coming about, especially coming from the left, they tend to be in that route and then realize all the dirty work that comes behind it, and they get involved in it without even noticing it, And honestly, that's how AOC is in. AOC's in that swamp. She came in, with the journey and the idea that, she wants to do great. Everybody comes when they want to do great and realize there's so much money in this, and nobody's actually attacking it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and no, this is a real thing. So, and become lobbyists, they become lobbyists and they wind up making all this profit and they start businesses with their money, right? But when you see their salaries, you always see the salaries that's coming in from the actual politics, their regular salary, but they're making a lot of money on the back end that's not even being accounted for. So a lot of politicians do that. So I just hope that he comes out being one of the honest ones. I know pretty sure that the left is not going to support him, probably going to kick him out if he wants to be too honest. But yeah.
Good opinion.
Jonathan Soto, man.
Yeah, that's what I said, man.
But yeah, listen, I wish him well. I wish him well.
When he's in.
Oh, when he's in?
And
I want to see what happens when he's in.
And just for the fact that he showed up to the pod, I'll give him benefit of the doubt. I would vote for him. Just because he came to the pod.
Respect that.
I won't.
I really don't follow the. I really
Hillary could pull up to the pod. I don't mean I'm
no. But no, it's not even that. But I don't really follow the assemblies. That's why I don't follow much on the assembly. I follow the actual the real stuff.
That's my
no disrespect.
I feel like that's my issue. I don't follow the local politics enough.
I don't think anybody does. But I don't. I think that's because it's not cool to There's what's.
Well, I don't have kids, and they're focused on they're focused on schools and stuff like that. I don't have kids. That's why I have no reason to actually look at that. You get what I'm saying? And you work, you work with kids, and everybody else has kids. You have kids? All right, so yeah, so he's like me. You're like, so it's kind of like I don't really focus on that.
But it's still local politics.
Well, no, it's 100% local politics. I just don't know what's really affecting me or affecting me as a parent. To see what's going. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I just don't see that. So I'm not looking at that. I'm not focused on them. I'm focused on city councils. I'm focused on congressmen, congresswomen. I'm focused on governors. I'm mayor,
I'm focused on like and the little stuff around the areas too, but assembly is like one of those things that just happen to bypass, you know?
Yeah, that's why I asked him. I said, "What is an assemblyman?"
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't know what they do.
I couldn't tell you.
Is that,
I wish I would have been here earlier.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody knows what they do.
Does it fall in districts or something like that?
Yeah. So
I
he
know
has.
that.
Is he going for, since he's endorsed by AOC? Is he going to be like on district?
He's endorsed by AOC.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I definitely wouldn't vote for that nigga. No offense to you, Mr.
Listen,
Soto.
No,
but
listen.
I don't like it. No
I didn't
offense to you, I don't like AOC.
I don't. Yeah, me neither. But I don't. I mean, I wouldn't try to like mess with his campaigns or any type of like ask him certain questions that can actually whatever it is. I don't want to do all that. You know, he seemed like he mean well, but yeah. I mean, when he was talking about that socialist Democrat thing, it was just like then he started talking about that. Oh, my type of socialism. There's no my type of socialism is socialism.
Mhm.
You know, there's no my type of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I didn't want to ask those questions because it's like then I could put him in a hot seat for no reason. You know, but yeah, there's just like there's no such thing as my type of socialism. Socialism comes with good and bad. It comes with good and bad, but at the end of the day, it ends with bad, and it's bad for the people, and it's great for government and the rich. That's what socialism is in any country. So, but on the back end, we do get universal health care. You get health care. You get your college tuitions and school debts, all paid off and everything. You're happy on that, but you don't have your freedom.
You get future concerts.
Yeah, your future concert.
You go to a future concert.
I had a future concert.
You gotta go.
You can't not go to.
I know JT hates Future, and it was
my
bad
God.
fun. The funniest shit is that I went to an Ape Fest concert, right? I went to Ape Fest. Huh? Nah, I was a +1.
Okay.
I was a +1 at this.
Yeah, I was like, I saw you was there, and I was like, how the fuck Kev getting? And I'm looking at him like, yeah, you gotta link to this site to show that you own a Bored Ape, and I'm like, man, this nigga don't got no Bored Ape. Like, what the fuck?
Yo, nah, I was a +1, and I pulled up on that, and the funniest shit was that Future performed. I was like, yo, let me call JT. I called JT on FaceTime, and JT's face was like the funniest shit ever. His face was like the funniest shit ever. I wish I could show y'all, man, but
Yeah, I was tight.
yeah.
Hey, nigga, you call me this.
You asked Kev if he was the one like eating ass on a handstand.
No, that wasn't me.
All right.
Definitely it was definitely somebody. It was either him or somebody around him.
That's crazy.
Nigga, no.
Oh.
What the fuck?
It was definitely him or somebody around
I wrote him
without a doubt.
I read that shit and I was like, yo, this gotta be Justin, bro.
Nah, the only thing I only wrote to one person
Buffalo.
so far, and the only person
Kev,
I
nobody's
wrote to
listening to you, man.
was Warren today. I said he looked like he smelled like mad turkey bacon and sasson.
Oh, you wrote that?
Yeah, I wrote that.
I felt like that was you too. I felt like that was you too.
Yeah, no, Warren.
That was the first time I've ever wrote on somebody's shit. Like,
Warren's getting some crazy fucking
Nah, yeah, I was
questions.
seeing Warren shit. I was like, yo,
Warren's getting some crazy fucking questions.
when
bro,
you
I
gonna
had
eat it again? When you gonna eat it again?
I had to like, I'm not even putting mine back up there again. They started going. The first question I got, how many bodies?
Yo,
you
there
got?
was I was dying.
You a whore, nigga.
I was dying that like I'm going through my feed, my stories, and there's a question that came up on Warren. It's like, yo, like it's some shit like, yo, you remember when you ate my ass?
Oh,
Yes, it started dying. Yeah, I burst out dying.
nigga, Warren was like, nope, nope.
I started dying.
It's hard because you know how like niggas is stupid. Like we're just gonna do. Your friends are gonna write dumb shit on that shit just to post it. Like so, you don't even know who's.
If you know
Who is
your
that
friend, you know for a fact who.
Yeah,
I
haven't wrote to you yet.
Yeah,
What does it say about human behavior?
We're an idiots.
Nah,
Idiots.
Human,
male
it just
behavior.
says, like humans like
Male
saying shit,
behavior.
but just anonymous.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is like why anonymous messaging boards are popular.
Why do you think that?
Because you can
They can
say
say
anything
whatever
you
and
want,
not be tracked.
and then you pay for it, and they just give you the make model of your phone.
But what about on the other end of the spectrum? Like, what does that say about the human behavior for the people who participate in it?
Those same people will participate. They just say their true feelings anonymous.
No. I'm saying for like, so like for the person who owns the link.
Oh,
What does it say about that person?
That reminds me of a Black Mirror episode.
Which one?
Everything does.
Yeah.
The one with the bees. You remember the one with the where they made the mechanical bees, and this nigga had some shit. He pretty much hacked. So all the bees in the world died, and obviously bees are important to our ecosystem. So they made mechanical bees to mimic the pattern of bees, like pollinate flowers.
I remember that one. I remember that one.
Nigga hacked the bees. There was some shit where everybody was publicly like, it's not anonymous, but everybody was publicly scrutinizing this person on social media, and this nigga sent the bees to kill. He tracked and logged every single person who sent the message that was hateful, and sent the bees to like go through their ears and kill them, like type shit. He hacked the system.
That's
bees,
crazy.
And sent the bees to kill everybody who sent a hateful message. And that just reminded me of that Black Mirror.
I think I remember.
Yo, quick question: who got Kool-Aid here?
Not Kool-Aid.
Fuck it.
You want some? What is it?
That's not correct.
Oh, I'm good.
I'll drink that in.
Nah, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that.
You want to make it home? Yesterday, man.
It's
This nigga,
death?
We don't know what that is. Just don't. Whatever. Yesterday, man, this nigga driving. He looks at me. He goes, "We're on a highway." Nigga said, "Yo, you want to drive?" I said, "What are you talking about? We're on a highway." He
You
goes,
got a
"Yo."
Tesla, nigga?
Nah. So he's like, "Yo."
That's the only.
So he's like, "Yo, but if we in a little bit of traffic, you could just run out and just come on this side." Middle of traffic, we just stopped, got out the car.
Nah, that could happen if you had a standstill. Yeah.
It wasn't a standstill.
Yeah, nah, we made it a
Fuck it, nigga.
standstill.
They're not going nowhere.
The people behind us had to be like, "Yo, what the fuck is going on?"
Pay musical chairs in the fucking car. Oh man.
Yeah, man. Oh, what time is it?
That's a good question.
Oh shit, it's about to be 12 o'clock.
It's midnight.
I got here mad early.
Yeah.
All right, well,
You work.
Yeah.
one more
Ain't
day.
school out?
Got one more day.
Oh,
I gotta finish grades
Call out.
and stuff like that.
Call out your last
Nigga
day.
said call out.
Nah, I gotta
You
finish.
gotta-
I gotta finish grades.
Oh,
Grade. I gotta clean my class and check out, do all that shit. Check out process. That's
There's still kids there though.
Today was the last day, so we had New York Knicks Day. So the New York Knicks came, like some of their representatives, they did like activities and stuff with the kids. One of the players came, I forgot his name.
He ain't nobody then.
I mean, I wasn't downstairs, so
Oh.
I don't know. But I don't think it was like
One of the Knicks came. I
RJ
forgot
Barrett?
their name.
no. It wasn't like one of like the stars. It was
My
like
boy works at Puma.
where-
And Cal Kazuma. Like he does IT for Puma. So
oh shit.
yeah, he be even seeing like
Who's
these
that?
sneakers. Huh? My boy.
Who's the next? Who's the second one you said?
I said Kyle Kuzma.
I'm like, who the fuck is?
Oh, I know who
Kazuma?
you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. I was like, wait, I was
My
just
fault.
wondering.
Kuzma.
Yeah,
He met Kuzma. He met RJ Barrett.
that's fire.
Shouts out to Daniel.
Shout him out. But let's get out of here, fellas. Kev, I know you came late. You got anything to say?
Not much,
Why is
honestly.
Kev wearing like one of them Southern country ass
I
hats?
actually bought this hat. I bought this hat in Atlanta.
Keep America great. Yeah, this nigga's so basic, bro. Nigga, basic conservative.
Wow, look at the first thing that comes up on my Insta time.
Anonymous.
Yep.
Them niggas got hacked years ago. Anonymous ain't anonymous.
Oh, what?
Anybody who still believes anonymous is anonymous.
So who are these
He's
niggas?
not anonymous.
He's like a
Nigga, them
QAnon.
niggas been got compromised, bro. Like, if you actually Google
Is it like-
it,
is it like-
Anonymous got taken down in like fucking 2016,
Is he
2017.
like a QAnon dude or something?
It was a team, but them niggas been got taken down. Like, that shit is infiltrated.
Yikes.
You believe
Yeah.
QAnon?
We just
Nigga, I
had
was
this whole
just going over
conversation.
tonight. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean,
I
neither.
believe in okay. So I believe in the research it sent us on. I don't believe in the Q team
You
itself.
see, yeah, see, exactly. So like, it's crazy because like, it's a lot of the conspiracies are real. A lot of conspiracies are real, but the shit the motherfuckers is reptiles. It's like a whole different ball game.
Them
Yeah,
niggas,
yeah, that's a whole different ball game. It's like, you're tweaking. You're tweaking there.
they just aliens.
And some days peanuts, some days shells, man. And today it was the episode. I think I didn't get to watch much of it, but to me it was like the episode.
We had 2 great episodes today. This shit that we were talking about.
Oh, this is the second episode?
Yeah.
2 Take Mondays.
2 Take Mondays.
2 Take Monday.
2 Take Mondays. I mean, I think today was really good because, one, if he does win, that'll be a really good look for him, and to also get some new life in that office. Like 17 years of Mike Benedetto, and still nobody knows who he is. It's kind of
fuck is that?
Exactly. It's kind of sad. He's been representing our district now
17 years.
for 17 years, and we don't know who he is. So that's pretty bad. I've seen him before. Don't get me wrong.
Met him before.
Seen him before, but like the people don't know who he is. So that's kind of troubling. And I swear I did not know he was in office for that long. But
I thought that was just recently since I started finding out about him when all the other shit was happening with the basketball courts.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever heard his name.
Yeah. I've heard of Mark Jonaj more than I've heard of Benedetto.
Is that how you pronounce his name?
Jonaj? I think so, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of silent letters in there, man. Sheesh.
Yeah. And then shout out to Jonathan for coming on the show and sparking debate.
Anonymous got
Anonymous got indicted, and one of them snitched too. Shaking my head.
Yeah.
Should just keep. Yeah, you ever look something straight and then like the word is there and you can't see?
Nah, because I got good vision.
I got good vision too. I bought my shit, nigga.
So that's not good vision.
No, it's just like I
that's like getting a BBL, nigga. That's not your real ass, nigga.
I got a BB eyes.
Yeah, nigga. You got fake eyes, nigga. You got LASIK or some shit?
LASIK.
Yeah, nigga. No, this is authentic 2020, nigga. This that real shit look like.
Shit fucking like bugged me out just now, so I have to move it. But yeah, now we out of here, man.
Shout out to Jonathan. Go vote tomorrow.
Yes.
Make sure you go vote. We had all of this so that way we could try to explain to you all the importance of voting. You niggas don't vote.
Also, your Republican primaries tomorrow too for governor.
What?
Yeah.
Who's running?
Andrew Giuliani. That's what I'm going
his
for.
son?
Yeah.
He got slapped today. You saw
No,
Rudy
got slapped.
Rudy got
slapped.
slapped.
Rudy got
Yesterday.
slapped.
That was yesterday?
Yeah, and his back.
Nigga got arrested.
Yeah, they got arrested. Yeah.
Nigga said he was walking.
I mean, don't
smacked him a couple of times.
I ain't gonna lie, like
don't get it twisted.
niggas really hate Giuliani, but that nigga low key like smart as hell too. Like any nigga who could think of Rico, like you smart. Like your credit got you gotta get your flowers, even though like your flowers fucked up the community. Like you still gotta get your flowers.
I mean, it's like with his flowers, like because the thing is like he didn't fuck up the community. That Bloomberg took that shit and threw it towards our community. You know what I'm saying? So, because that shit was just attacking the Italian mob.
He took down the
he
mafia,
took down the mob with the RICO.
OD.
And Bloomberg took that shit and took that RICO law and threw it into the projects and everything, to the black and brown communities. Because he said that we will carry the most illegal guns.
So, I wouldn't be surprised if like years later news comes out that was like a mob boss's like nephew or some shit. That's not.
What do you mean?
I wouldn't surprise me at all.
Took down the family.
The immature side of me, when I read that shit, I laughed.
No, I did too.
Yeah.
I laughed. I was scrolling through YouTube and everything was abortion, Pride Month. Abortion, Pride Month. Abortion, Pride Month. Rudy Giuliani got slapped. And I was like, yo!
The immature side of me, I laughed when I read that, right? I'm like, damn, son, like, but then the mature side of me, I'm like, oh, damn, son, like,
you man, old.
That dude's 78 years old. Yeah. I mean, and that could be somebody's great grandfather. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he said he didn't fall though. He said he
said he fell.
He said he ate that shit. He said
I read it. No, I read the whole story.
I heard him today. Nigga said
nah, I ain't fall.
He said no, he hit me and he smacked me.
He said I fell. He said I fell, but I'm in pretty good shape.
No, he said he stumbled. He didn't fall. He said I stumbled, but I ain't fall.
I'm in pretty good shape. I mean, but
nigga say he hit me pretty hard too. I stumbled.
He said he got red marks. I ain't bleed though.
Exactly.
I ain't bleed.
Yo, chill out. Stop adding
That is bad.
And then Eddie open hand him his back like that.
No, why didn't do that? Why didn't do that?
You think it was like two hands?
No, it was one. He said it was one hand. Smacked him in his back. And the nigga worked there, something like that.
The nigga worked
Nah,
there.
that's how I want to do.
He said, "You fucking scumbag."
That's how I want to do Bill Gates though. No
Anyway,
cap,
so
bro.
I mean, like, I look at it like, yo, listen,
Nigga.
like, my pops was 79, right? When he passed, and I'm like 78, 79. I'm like, yo, like that's an older man right there. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind. I looked at that like, I laughed at my immature side, but my mature side is like, yo, bro, like.
Look at you being mature.
I'm 28, so I'm not that mature.
After a certain age, it's like you just gotta like can't just put hands on people, man.
I definitely do get it, but this is America and you're a public figure. Like, regardless of what rapper, like you see Lil Durk have to press this nigga who held up a fucking Young Boy T-shirt because Young Boy Durk can't beef in and all that King Von shit, all that. So it's like, as a public figure, you got to deal with bullshit. You would think, you would hope that
he said he was
politics is a little bit more civil.
He was campaigning for his son and got whacked
him in his back.
Yeah, that's crazy. The man that took down the mob is not even getting his flowers.
Not even that. The man that made New York City the way it is.
They call that nigga America's mayor.
Yo, Giuliani, but Giuliani doesn't get his flowers where he deserves. Like New York City, the way it's looking right now, that's how that shit was turning in the 80s. In the 80s, it was bad. And he took that shit from Dinkins. He took the city from Dinkins, and Dinkins was never here. He was always on vacation.
Did you know about Dinkins?
I did my research.
Oh, because we got the Dinkins called the Dink.
So
who was that nigga mayor?
Mayor Dinkins, he was the mayor in the late 80s.
He was like the first black mayor, right?
Yeah, first black mayor.
Yeah.
Y'all niggas was alive?
Somewhat of it.
I was here for
it. You was.
I was?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, we got the Dink in the back and
of course. All right, so
we got the Dinkins court, right?
So
I don't play basketball there.
Isn't that that they named it? Isn't that after Dinkins?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Mayor Dinkins, he was a horrible mayor.
Trigg said he was shitty.
Yeah, he was a horrible fucking mayor. He was always on vacation. But Giuliani inherited the fucking city from him and did a crazy fucking job. Yeah, he did really good and cleaned up New York, made New York actually profitable, made New York what it is, and then we get the Democrats back.
Which is like, it's funny that you say that.
Bloomberg didn't do a bad job with the city either.
Bloomberg
he was in office for like 12 years.
Yeah, he did 3 terms.
Yeah.
He did 3 terms.
No, he started Republican, I think.
And then he started Republican, and they did 2 years 2 terms independent. Well,
he got that bag.
Yo, my math teacher hated Bloomberg,
but
bro.
He didn't do bad with the city. The only thing he did bad, which was really fucked up, is that you remember when he was getting randomly pulled over for some bullshit? That was Bloomberg.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he was attacking the black and brown community.
I used to get stopped all the time on Bloomberg.
And that shit got exposed. Like those conversations got exposed when he was campaigning for president, and the Trump campaign actually pushed that shit out. They had him talking about it. That about putting all the cops to attack black and brown communities in the city.
I used to get stopped, and it's like, yo, first of all, I am an NYPD explorer, like pretty much like NYPD cadet program. Second of all, nigga, I am a nerd. Nigga, like, what do you stop?
Leave me alone,
At
right?
the very most, the most criminal activity I do is smoke weed. Leave me the fuck alone. Like, and niggas would stop me under Bloomberg, bro. So like, shit crazy.
Yeah, I used to get stopped.
I'm the last nigga you would think would have a gun, nigga. The way I walk down the street, nigga, I do not have. I walk fast as hell. You think a nigga with a strap is walking that fast?
I used to get pulled over for the dumbest shit. For the dumbest shit.
And it's crazy that we're talking about mayors, and I saw in the New York Post today that the current mayor, Eric Adams, he said he didn't realize how bad the city was under Bloomberg. I mean, under de Blasio.
Borough president. How the
fuck
fuck
did
you not?
And I'm like, nigga, how did you not? Where were you?
First of all, if somebody endorses me, nigga, I'm definitely doing my research on them. Because I want to know what kind of name I'm being attached to.
There you go.
So if the block and he did endorsed him, how the fuck you don't know what kind of job he did? Nigga, first of all, like he said, you the Brooklyn Borough president. You work in the city. You should see how that city doing, nigga?
Seriously, he was the Brooklyn borough president. In a matter of 20 days in office, he made New York City into Brooklyn.
Damn.
Nah, that's fact. Because Brooklyn was the shittiest borough.
He made New York
Crime,
City in
all of
20
that,
days.
Brooklyn is the shittiest borough. And that shit just became the whole city.
In 20 days, he made New York City into Brooklyn.
When was the last time you heard of a subway shooting? I'm just saying.
We always hear about like random shootings
not
in
even
East
de
New York.
Blasio, nigga, we didn't have a subway.
We always heard
shooting.
about the random shootings in East New York and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Now we get random shootings all over New York City. All over New York City.
Shit's bad, bro.
That shit wasn't even happening like that with fucking with de Blasio.
Why y'all niggas?
It wasn't even happening like that with de Blasio.
Yeah,
Why y'all niggas didn't vote Curtis Sliwa? I do not know.
He had a beret, that's why.
Yeah, that's why.
Nigga, fuck that.
They ain't like the beret.
That shit was fire, nigga. That right? And nigga, I was no cap, bro. I was thinking of like low key, like trying to sign up for his shit to like ride the subway.
Just put a jacket on, nigga, and put a beret.
All right, but that's not really how it works. Like, what the fuck, nigga? Just throw on some red shit and some red shit. Yeah, nigga. By myself, nigga. These niggas gonna beat me up, nigga. What the fuck you talking about, nigga?
Yeah, but he want to spend mad money running over.
Oh yeah, the guardian angel. Like, nigga, how much be a guardian angel by myself, nigga? Where my guardians, nigga? Gonna beat my ass.
What do they do?
They ride the subways to like try to like deter crime type shit.
Yeah, I mean,
that's cool.
Yeah, that's what he was
His
doing.
old ass really be doing that shit. Too.
But didn't they just sign a law? Governor Hochul just signed a law to protect transit workers. She literally just signed that law today.
You think that's gonna work?
I don't know.
They made a law that like was like I think it's the early 2000s that you cannot assault transit workers, right? And it'd be you be put the felony. They made that in the early 2000s, right? Niggas is still snuffing bus drivers. You think that's gonna stop it?
Well, I mean, I think this law is pouring more money into having more law enforcement in these places. So that way, hopefully, it can serve as a deterrent to get people to stop doing it.
All right, Adam's doing.
What?
He trying to break these niggas up.
Break who up?
Like law enforcement, like transit, all that. Like he trying to make these niggas go solo dolo. Like normally they're two.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I heard about that.
Niggas
Yeah,
go solo.
that's the
This nigga's brain dead. You really think that's safe for these niggas?
That's dumb.
Like even majority of niggas hate cops, and they can even acknowledge that nigga these niggas is gonna get fucked up if you put them on post by themselves.
But what's the logic behind that? Maybe is it to cover more ground? Maybe
That's his logic, yeah. But you really think that's a good idea? And if you do think that's a good idea, why the fuck are you mayor?
Because
to have a nigga,
we voted for.
Nigga, military don't have niggas by themselves. Nigga, I'm not army, but army got some shit battle buddy.
Yo, we gotta
nigga,
sign
you have
up.
a battle buddy from day one.
We gotta sign up and go. We gotta sign up and go to one of his campaigns. And we start talking mad shit. Start talking mad shit.
Yeah, I'm unvaccinated. I'm unvaccinated. I'll spit in that nigga's face.
None of my shit. Don't go over there saying nothing.
40 Central. Hold that.
I'm unvaccinated. I'll spit in that nigga's face, bro. Like, fuck out.
Make sure you don't have nothing of this shit on.
Are you scared?
This nigga right here.
You scared?
No, nobody's scared.
All right,
don't do
40
it,
Central.
No, nigga, fuck out of here. He is not a part of this. Don't say that now before. Oh, all right, y'all good?
Scared.
You good? You good?
Yeah.
All right, let's chit chat with y'all guys today. Be out of here.